close. It's probably close. We're probably close. Stupid Amazon. We're supposed to be here yesterday. Wasn't supposed to be putting wire screws in right now. And then I thought, oh man, we woke up early due to my advanced age rendering me incapable of setting an idiotic alarm clock. Well, bedside clock. So the kids set it, didn't know that it was on military time, got the time off by 12 hours. So 1500 and 1600 are in the morning. So I woke up this morning, looked to my side, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw 6:52. And I was like, I've never slept this long in my life. And then my brain was awake now, right? My brain saw 6:52, didn't look out the window to see that it was still pitch black outside. My brain woke up. Then I sat up, looked at the clock again, and it said 16:52. So I woke up at 4:52 this morning. Against my will. It was not my intention to wake up. And honestly, I mean, I guess it did. Like, I got done with stuff earlier. Have you checked out early morning? It's pretty good. They've got most everything early in the morning. You can get most everything. Except sunlight. I just wanted a thing. You know what? I might just Amazon it. I might just buy a new alarm clock. I've never set an alarm on it. We just use it for a clock. Because, you know, the old eyes can't see a watch anymore. Not at night. Not at night. So yeah, we're gonna do our very best to get this thing put together. Camera one. Oh, okay, great. Stream Deck is literally just exclamation points. Let me guess. OBS updated about 30 minutes ago. And now the Stream Deck doesn't work. I'm going to have to reach over and use the mouse. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Yeah. Okay. So the Stream Deck just makes exclamation points. So none of these things work anymore. That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. That's great. It's never 100%. We're never 100%. Yes, 1600 is 4 p.m. unless your kid, who doesn't know what military time is, set the clock because they were irritated by it being off by 1 hour, and they set it 12 hours out of phase, so to speak. So at 4 p.m., it says 4 p.m. It says 400. It's backwards. It'll happen again, or it won't happen again. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, don't I love an update? 100%. I love that it completely broke Stream Deck. Let's try quitting Stream Deck. Quit. And then relaunching it. Sometimes turning it off, turning it back on again. Oh, that's even more awesome. All of the buttons, all of the OBS buttons are just gone. They don't do anything anymore. Sweet. So we get to start over with that. That's great. That's great. I'm looking forward to that. All right. Because I fear, much like the firmware updates to any device that requires being connected to some other device, you fear doing it almost as much as not, or more than not doing it. If you don't do it, I've never seen this man before in my life. Stuff just stops working. And then when you do update it, then stuff really stops working. You're damned if you do and damned if you don't. I did something similar during COVID. Got up to say 7 o'clock. Thought, how have I slept for so long? Rushed out to catch up so I could get food. Went in the shop and they said, morning. Yeah. Time compression. So can I just cycle? 2, camera 3, A. Back to 1. All right. It's back to the old school. Does the split screen button work? No. Does the mute button work? No. Okay. One button works. I can switch to Opera, which is not specifically an OBS function. So I'm just gonna make a new page and program those at a later date, because as soon as we're done with this, I will have completely forgotten that it was my intention to do that. So I would say that I put a bunch of work, time, and effort into this, but I started working on this yesterday afternoon. I think it sat directly behind Marie Kondo is a benchtop spindle sanding machine, and it's kind of far away from the wall. So I've taken to shoving all of the things that need to be quick viewed, all of the things that need to be tested, all of that stuff back there, as well as projects that are underway. So I set this thing down over there, and it sat there for a week, and I did other stuff during the week, and then I was like, yeah, we can probably get this finished. So yesterday was nothing but scut work, topping off the oil in the shocks, putting the Tower Hobbies SE hardware on the shocks, getting the servo mounted to the front axle. You can tell this servo had a previous life as BTA. Making sure, investigating all the gears, making sure everything was greased, front axle, rear axle. I don't know what it is. I'm having a real issue lately with TRX4 axles just all feeling gravelly. I don't know what it is. We've got bumper mounts. We've got links. I threw everything in a bin. I redid the rear links, both of them, multiple times. Finally got to the point where I was like, I do not have the link. I don't have the length that I need, so I made the length that I need. I need 120s, and I don't have them in high clearance or straight. So we go with what we got. Trucks of Fortune on the bench is always the answer. The answer is always Trucks of Fortune. Now I'm going to get a little container, like a bowl. Ooh, I think I have a Magnavolt. Do I have a Magnavolt? I do. It's gross. It's gross. We can, this has hit the floor a couple times, methinks. We've topped off the sauce. The sauce now has it's kind of flesh color. A little bit flesh color, the sauce. Flesh sauce. Nothing will beat that flesh-colored Tesla that I saw, though. It was the color of a flesh Crayola crayon. It sticks with you. It does. Makes little, Okay. Okay, OBS. Yep, camera 1 has frozen. So, okay, I'm trying to remember. How did we... Okay, OBS is... the Stream Deck is broken, and now camera 1 is down. Here we are, just frozen. I noticed I couldn't see my hands We'll go to that. I remember, okay, camera 1, we go to video capture device, and we trash it. Yes. And then we go to camera 1, and we go plus, and we go video capture device, create new, okay, device, Elgato HD60, okay. Hey, see what we've done? It's going to be one of those days. You know why? I made sure to do my restart. I made sure that all my software was up to date, and everything is breaking. It's fantastic. I went to hold up my little magnet tower. So, we've made some progress, and I hope that the progress, it hasn't basically been fully assembled. It definitely hasn't been run. I still have to solder on a JST for the battery. I have to solder on a new battery connector. I don't know if the gearing is going to be clearing. We will see what happens. Is it plausible that you've reached burnout? Oh, it was long ago. Like I feel like I burned out a while ago. Anyone see the new Fusion Pro Elite? Nope. Sure haven't. Have I seen videos where heads that talk about them? Yes. Have I seen one in an actual person's hands, like a normal person? No. Did I order one on the day that Hobbywing announced it? Yes. Have I heard a single word from Hobbywing? No. I expect it to just show up in my mailbox one day, because that's kind of how Hobbywing works. Now I've got to watch my own flashing colored sign to make sure that the live view, which is right over there, hasn't just stopped. So it's going to be one of those days. Yeah, Stream Deck down. It's funny how quickly you can get used to something. As someone who works in software, I roll with the rule, don't update it unless you're absolutely forced to. Yeah. But what they'll do is they'll start breaking functionality. And whatever this update was not obviously some sort of security update for OBS. It was some sort of functional update. And of course, when it's a functional update, like if we hadn't updated it, who knows? Shipping on Hobbywing is after October 10th. I don't know where you've heard that, because I've checked Hobbywing and go to my order, and it doesn't say anything. It says expected September 26th. That's all it says anywhere I go and look. So if it's October 10th, then that's great. And what you should do is spread that as far and as wide as you possibly can. Post it in as many places as humanly possible, because I have been asked about the Hobbywing Fusion Elite 100 times, maybe more. No, I have not seen it, and I do not mean Hobbywing promotional videos. Because let us remember, the last time that something exactly like this was released, the Holmes Hobbies 2-in-1, it came out with much fervor and fanfare. And when is the last time you heard someone mention one at all? They kind of fell off the face of the earth. And maybe when they get whatever issues they're having with it, whenever they get those issues sorted out, maybe it'll come back around. But the Fusion Elite, I ordered one because I'm very curious about it. As I stand here now, based on just what I know about the size and the dimensions and everything about it, I don't know who it's for. I ordered one because that is definitely a component of what I do here, but a situation where if you can fit a full-size Fusion, run a full-size Fusion, and if you don't have the room for a full-size Fusion, then run an Outrunner. So the application window for a shorter 2300 kV motor that is 4S capable, I don't specifically know who it's for. The number of applications that I can think of for that offhand are woefully small. I will probably do what oft gets done here, which is I will build to it. We'll build something that needs one. Maybe you should take a break. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. If you get tired at work, maybe you should just take a break from work and just not show up anymore. Just like stay home. That's not how it works. YouTube will forget you overnight. I lose dozens of viewers per day. Like, people that used to watch the channel don't watch the channel anymore. I have a core constituency that is the absolute pilings that this edifice is built atop of. Without the core 800-ish of you, and at the bottom of that 800, the absolute bedrock that holds up that 800 is about 60 or 70 of y'all's. Without those groups of people, the channel stops altogether. But there is no such thing as infinite growth, and I have come to the conclusion that the channel is in a perpetual system of maintenance. We're just trying to keep it level. We're just kind of trying to keep it level. And yes, Mr. Truitt asked, would it be for a stubby? No, a stubby will only fit up to 36 millimeters, and the Fusion Elite is like 42 or 43. So it does not fit in a stubby. I am also, like JP Wirt, interested in the 10BL80, if only to see why the promotional footage never has audio. Because that is what they call in the industry a red flag. If you're announcing and touting your new speed control for Outrunner, but conspicuously none of your running footage has any audio on it, that's worrisome. Because that sounds like we're going down to the moors to visit the castle. Hey, Chuck Hurley with a 5. Stephen Turner with a 5. We keep the sawtooth alive. Thought I'd pop in and say hi. Got to take the trailer and pick up some things. Have a good weekend, y'all. No, you have a good weekend. I'm going to have a good weekend one way or the other. I'm going to will it into being. So yeah, my tiredness, if anything else, is idiotic alarm clock related more than anything channel related. I've been having a great time wrenching on toy cars the last couple days, so it's not that. I've been getting some technical stuff out of the way. I have completely redone the microphone situation on Bruce's radio again, so we'll get to see if that does indeed work. There's a new microphone in here, a new placement and new microphone, not for where you are right now. This is a Logitech Blue Yeti. This is buying your way into something you absolutely know works. So when I needed to buy a microphone to do the live streams in the house, I just bought another Blue Yeti. I didn't even question it. And I bought it at Best Buy because they had the lowest price. I think that's how Best Buy is staying alive. Also, the ones around here have a place inside them called Pacific Sales, where you go to buy a $12,000 refrigerator. That's another way to stay in business. Going to Proline this year? Yes, I will be there on Friday. Oh, by the way, to you people, one of you is now responsible for reminding me that I need to do a community post both on YouTube and on the Discord and as many other places as I can remember. Next week, the live stream of Friday, October 10th. Write it down and in your books if you write things down. The live stream will be at 10 a.m. rather than the rock solid, bog standard 12 to 3 Pacific live stream. It will be 10 to 1 because as soon as the live stream is over, and it will be 10 to 1 It is going to be slightly abbreviated and starting 2 hours earlier. So we're turning the machine off at 1. Everything will be in the car already. I'm going to drive over, buy my coffee drink, get directly on the freeway, and drive to Horseman's. Because it is Friday, and if the closer you get to 4 p.m. on the 15 freeway north, the closer you are to doom. Because if you try to get up on that road too late, it's murder. Bad times are had by all. I would do the live stream from the car, but as soon as you start to go up this thing called Cajon Pass, you're lucky if your streaming service on your phone works to play music. You go past Cal State University San Bernardino, you get to the joiner of the 215 and the 15, and then there's just nothing. And that does include when you drive through Victor Valley. I refuse to view Victor Valley as something. Victor Valley is for suckers and chumps.
I see how it is. But you're stopping there in October.
I go there once a year because it happens to be where the thing is. But Victor Valley is gross.
It's cooler up there than it is down here.
Yeah, there's what old Greta warned us about, was the climate change. It'll be cooler. That day, regardless of what the weather is, the 9th and the 10th, and provided that the weather doesn't look gross. Oh, we're in the 10-day window now, right? Close to? Should be able to find out what it's going to be like up there next Saturday. Yes, it does go through next Saturday. Oh, Thursday and Friday of next week, 89 and 91. So let's see what it looks like for old Desperia. I thought I added Desperia on here. I've got Oslo, Norway. Search for a city or airport. Hesperia. I almost typed in Oh, there's a Hesperia, Michigan. In case you wondered. Okay, Hesperia. Next Saturday, 73 degrees. Yes, I will definitely also be driving up there on Saturday. A high of 73 up there. That's absolutely fine. High of 84 on Friday. It should be 2 good days up there for Proline by the Fire. So I will be there Friday, starting in the afternoon, going all the way through the night stuff. That's why I'm there. That's what some of the Mias lights are for. And then I will be up there on Saturday just to tool around and look at the stuff and then go home. Has anyone seen the OT6 reverse cut 833? Nope. I just ran an 830 and I don't mind it at all. I bought the SCX 10.3 base camp, then I saw your video on it and kind of wished I got something else. But I will use it as a trail truck and not a rock crawler, so I figured it's good enough. Yeah, absolutely. Base camp, RTR on the trails will be absolutely fine. You'll probably still want to change the body because the body is not proportionate to the tires. It's a weird looking body. The blind guy he's right over there.
Hello.
Do you think maybe the 10 AMB 80 is quieter than the damn 9 I'm not Outrunner? I don't know. I have a set of Losi rock claws. Would you like to trade for something? Maybe. They named a whole valley after those rulers because I do have a Victor ruler. You need to get to Proline by the Fire early enough to go to the Red Cat booth to see what 11.9 K YouTube followers gets you on a Vertex. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Hey, everybody in the chat, if you care about Mr. C, you encourage him to take it easy before he snaps, and then we'll have nothing.
He's already snapped.
Maybe I'll snap today. We'll find out what happens. As they say, serenity now, insanity later. So we just keep on keeping on. And I play with toy cars for a sort of a living. So I don't really have a lot of latitude to complain. Has anybody ever, you ever watch those videos about how the human eye works? And about how you can do that thing where you look away from a clock and then you look back at the clock and the second hand just seems to be motionless because your brain pre-draws. It basically like pre-renders in because it knows what it's looking at. I just looked up at the screen and the color hadn't changed. So I was like, oh, So I looked over here, and then it felt like it was on a solid color for a very long time. And I was like, it's frozen again. And then the color changed. So yeah, a little bit of lack of sleep, a little bit of an ever burgeoning madness, like insanity grows from that's the strength and power of insanity, is that it grows from within and without. So like my wife yells at me when I yell at other cars on the road from inside the car, and she's like, they can't hear you. And this is the difference between the X chromosome and the Y chromosome. It doesn't matter that they can't hear me. It's that I have to get it out. If I keep squashing it down inside of me, eventually I'm getting up on the water tower. Yeah, all work and no beer make Homer go. All work and no beer make Homer go. And then Marge says, crazy? And he says, don't mind if I do. And that's where I will end up if I don't get to yell at the windshield when people drive like morons on the road in front of me. He snapped a few live streams ago over 3D printing. I wanted to fight the knob. Yeah. I did snap in that one. It still makes me mad, too. It makes me mad that I let it get to me. That's the part that makes me mad. I should have just... I should have let it go and shined it on. But sometimes... that's not what's happening on that day. Sometimes that's how it do be. Sometimes you gotta snap. Sometimes the filter wears too thin. I feel you, Mr. C. I drive a truck for a living. I'm yelling out the window all day. Oh my God, I can't even imagine. The way the average Tesla pilot behaves around a semi pulling a 53-footer really proves to me that they have no knowledge of physics at all. Like that car's going to explode like a bomb when that truck runs it over, because those batteries do not like being run over. As long as you get on top of the water tower and it's not your turn in the water tower. I mean, you know what? Some days I wouldn't mind. Just put me inside the water tower. I'm not even going to complain. Sometimes. So what we do is we attempt to achieve some kind of normalcy. Or if normalcy is unavailable, just consistency. My life has become, luckily, I favor it this way. My life has become a regimented, scheduled thing where I do this on this day and I do this on this day. And it's kind of sometimes, I don't want to bring anybody down here, but that regimented schedule is the only thing that keeps me together as a combined, coherent human being, right? I film this day, and this day. I live stream on this day. Me and the wife go record the trailing this day. My wife made some small amount of fun out of me because I drink out of the same mug every morning. I have a different mug for Fridays, and then I have a mug that I drink out of 6 days a week. And she was like, "That's weird." And I'm like, "You've never played baseball." So she doesn't understand. You never washed the batting gloves you got that triple with. Those are your batting gloves. So I have my mug. I heard you mention in a stream recently that you've never owned a truck. How do you pick up materials, plywood, and such?
Borrow a truck, rent the Load and Go.
Load and Go was the go-to for plywood for a lot of years. I brought the hot water heater that's in the house. No, I brought this one home in the Subaru. I brought the one before that home in the back of my Scion TC. So I treated my TC like a truck for years and years. Yeah, I have never owned a truck. Oh, thank you, Roland. I rode in Tesla on autopilot once, never again. It stopped randomly at the bottom of a hill, then proceeded to try to drive us into the opposite side of the river from our destination. That's awesome. Have you seen the videos of the Chinese car company that ejects the battery with great speed during a crash? No, but I want to now. Hey, Mr. C, what transmission would you recommend for the Tsunami? Cheaper is better. I was looking at OD3 Clone. Yeah, OD3 Clone is great. And I'm a big fan of any gearbox that has some amount of overdrive, underdrive in the box, because it just simplifies things. Like, then you don't have to worry about it, unless you're doing something dumb like this. There will come a moment, which will come up maybe sooner than later. I don't know yet. Where we will break down what is inside of this, and then you will truly know that he's lost his mind. So, Nod 2, OD3, it really depends on what axles you're putting under it. The axles are the most important part of this equation because, well, if you haven't picked your motor yet, then you have a lot more freedom. If you're going with portals, you might go Nod 2 because then you have the opportunity to change your overdrive, underdrive via both ring and pinion and portal gears. So you have a lot of flexibility there. But 18% is kind of the starting point for me. Oh, yeah, and Lowe's delivery. They haven't completely ruined it yet. I got an email earlier because I've been a Lowe's, what do they call it? Like Contractor Pro or whatever. I've been on that at Lowe's for like 10 years now, and we had $20 delivery. If you spent more than $99, you get $20 delivery. Now, the Lowe's is 3/4 of a mile away from the house. It's right across the street from the Costco. So it still pains me to spend $20, except when I'm having 2 pallets of concrete delivered. Then I'm like, $20 seems just great. $20 seems just great to have 12,000 pounds of concrete delivered. That will absolutely work for me. So Lowe's delivery, load and go. Owning a truck, anyone who owns a truck can attest to this. If you own a truck, people will find out that you own a truck, and then they will request that you use it to do truck things. You get to help everybody move now. My God, I just thought, when is the last time I had to help somebody move? It's been a long time. Well, in our current economic climate, nobody can afford to move anymore. Is your Friday mug Grumpy Cat? My Friday mug is my Grand Canyon mug that I bought at the Grand Canyon, and it has a perfectly sized handle and a perfect volume. It's one of my favorite mugs in the whole world. My daily mug is an Arizona mug from Starbucks. That's it, an Arizona Starbucks mug from the state of Arizona. Because somebody said that they needed the Arizona mug. My in-laws were in Arizona. They bought the mug for the person, and the person said, oh, I already have that one, which is an absolute dick move, by the way. So I said, I'll take it, and I walked home with it, and I've had my Arizona mug, and it's great. Something about the magical orange interior of those mugs. I drink out of one mug. My wife collects them, and our cabinet's full of them. Same. Never owning a truck would make more sense to you if you lived in Southern California. I would say probably 80% of Southern California residents have never owned a truck. Driving a truck is the best. Much prefer over driving a car or an SUV. I don't know about that.
Well, it's just you get to.
I mean, we had 2 kids.
Over people. It's not a truck thing. It's where you're sitting in the cabin.
I used to just throw the top down the convertible and throw the stuff in the back seat. I've brought 16-foot 2x4s home, strapped onto the bicycle racks on the roof of my TC. I treated that TC like a truck for over a decade.
Robert used to load concrete in his car.
Yeah, Robert, my buddy, used to bring concrete home in the back of a Hyundai. I'm going to run straight ISO's capper width. I also haven't picked a motor. OD3 would be perfect for you then. I was told to get the Fusion Elite. Outrunner is going to be better in something like a Manus, I'm pretty sure. Mostly because a lot of those gearboxes, OD3, Nod 2, any of those little tiny, the ultralights, any of those low-profile gearboxes, they were designed with pancake Outrunners in mind. They were not designed with anything else in mind. And many of them you will have link fitment issues and any number of other issues if trying to fit. If I was going to run a Fusion Elite, I'd probably put a Stealth X in it. Because I don't think you need something super low profile. Of course, he's never owned a truck means he's a city boy, so you could just buy a Vertex. Maybe that will be the mark of the new rhinestone poppet cowboy. I don't understand that reference. Really cowboy. I don't understand that reference at all. Hey, what's going on, Erwin? It doesn't matter if it's an F-150 or for. Oh, I missed something there. Trying owning a trailer. I have a bunch of buddies. Nope. Mo Trapper's only ever owned trucks, but he lives in mid-Missouri. Well, yeah, I mean, if you show up in a Kia Telluride, you're never going to hear the end of it. RC Fabricator has never owned a car. Now, do you mean that you've only driven trucks, or do you mean you've just never owned a motor vehicle? Because, like, people from proper cities, New York City, plenty of people live in New York City have never owned a car. The way the battery ejects, I couldn't imagine being on the sidewalk getting hit by a car battery at 30 miles an hour.
Very true.
When gas is like $6 a gallon, I could understand never having a truck a whole lot more. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, my wife's car gets 50 miles to the gallon. That's a very California-centric thing. Yeah, you got to remember, our gas is really cheap right now because we're nowhere near any kind of a peak season. And when I say really cheap right now, I mean it's only like $4.15 a gallon. That's low for us. We look forward to $4.15 a gallon. If you notice, I only drove my truck over the canyon once. Much prefer the Highlander. Yeah. We're not going to talk about the new hydrogen power car where the interchangeable cells get inserted through the rear bumper. Oh, boy. Well, it's Ford Pinto, anyone? Would you like to get rear-ended where your hydrogen cells are?
Well, hey.
Go full Hindenburg?
If you break the bottle, it ejects it through the back and into the driver that hit you.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like full Hinden Pinto. Her car gets 50 miles to the gallon. My truck doesn't get a good 20. We probably have the same cost mile. Probably. Yeah. What size pinion do you have on the Mini? 13. It was the only one I could find. Somewhere in this building. I think I know where it is. I think I just remembered. I know where the plate is, too.
Told you stole it on something.
I knew. When he said 13-tooth pinion, it reminded me. There's a box with all of the bits to build that sand scorcher. To do my own version of a bugger, I put all the parts in that box. I know. Well, I don't know that I did.
Fairly certain.
I'm fairly certain. I'm 70% certain. Refinery fire going to jump prices on the West Coast? Absolutely is. 100%. It will jump it as soon as the fire was reported. Gas went up 15 cents a gallon. You know, the stuff that's been in the tank for a few days. Yeah, I had forgotten about the refinery fire. What chassis is that? I like the carbon pattern on it. This is the Endura Silver Carbon 410 Pro. I believe it was $20. California has to have the highest number of Toyota Prius per capita. Oh, easily. And if Southern California, and more specifically, if LA County isn't the Tesla capital of the world, I would be astonished. You can be in a parking lot in LA and be completely surrounded by Teslas. That's Tesla country. That's not a good thing either. It's just an observation. So I got the front links guestify guide pretty good. Oh, Miata Commuter with the 5. Hey, thank you. Oh, I hadn't written down that far. There we go. Our petrol is $8.20 and diesel is a gallon, and diesel is the same. Will 4S be okay in the Phoenix with the Hobbywing Elite? I don't know if you're going to need 4S on 2300 unless you're running the biggest pinion, the smallest pinion and the biggest spur that you can physically fit. Have you ever done a shop tour? I do one every year. Netherlands is $7.44 a gallon, but that's €7.44. Yeah, that's about like that 8 something, just below $9. I think petrol in the UK is about at £1.35, but that's a liter, right? Yeah. Most Tesla cars in a state per capita, worst electrical grid in the country. Yes, both. You know what? Both of those are accurate. We used to, oh my God, there was the longest running, I guess, sort of ad campaign called Give Your Appliances the Afternoon Off. Only now they don't tell you that because they mandated that you have to put solar panels on the roof of every house. Every new build has to have solar panels on the roof. So now there's so much solar power at 2 o'clock in the afternoon that it's messing up the power plant because they don't know what to do with the excess power. It's starting to mess up the grid because they don't have grid storage for all this excess power. And then the sun goes down. And then all of that excess power is gone. They haven't been able to store any of it. And then they got to crank the power. Our entire valley is run by the Mountain View Power Generating Station, a gas turbine plant, a GE turbine plant right down the road from us, about 6 miles away from where I'm standing right now. Every house here, that's where they get their power from. And now they're like, no, run your AC unit full tilt, do all of your laundry at 2 in the afternoon when all the solar panels are on. Oh, and by the way, don't charge your electric car at night because we don't have enough grid to support all the Teslas being charged at 4 o'clock in the morning. So that is how you build a state to just get worse by the moment.
Trying to outlaw everything gasoline.
Outlaw everything that runs on gasoline and tell us that we need electricity operated everything, but make no plans for electricity to increase the production to support all of the electrically operated things. Oh, and raise the cost per kilowatt hour of that electricity every single year until you have one of the highest non-island rates in the country. I have a new Red Cat Ascent Apex coming. Have you checked them out yet? We don't do minis nor micros. We don't do micros. The nearest Tesla charger is 35 miles away, though, which is a bonus. They're all around us now. There's all around this now. Okay, Smacks. I hadn't read chat in a minute. Here's a real question. What's your kilowatt hour price? I'm paying 7 cents a kilowatt hour. 44. We pay 44 cents per kilowatt hour. So we only pay 6 times as much as you for electricity. Traveling through Cali recently, there were more charging stations than functioning toilets at the rest stop. That sounds right. That sounds absolutely right.
That's our slogan in California. You charge your car, but you can't take a crap.
You can charge your car, but you can't take a crap. You got to go take a crap in another state. Revolt said he posted a pic in the Discord. Where? Is it like a I'm not finding it. Yeah, I don't see it. Okay. I worked at a full service since 1985 through 87. The day gas went over $1 a gallon, everybody lost their flipping minds. I 100% believe it. Hey, Washington's trying to pass us $4.80 a gallon. Oh, when I say I paid $4.15 a gallon, that's Costco. That's the cheapest gas in the local area. The Chevron across the street is over $5 a gallon. It's probably $5.15, $5.25 at the Chevron right now. I used to have Gas Buddy installed, but I think I uninstalled it once they built a Costco down the street. Why am I going to go anywhere else? If there was only some magic rocks that got hot and we could dunk them in the water to make steam. I know. Instagram. See? Those are different things. Oh, yeah. I watched that video. I thought I commented on that video. It is always tiny batteries. It's always the tiny batteries. It's getting to the point where I want to start telling people, don't buy anything smaller than an 850. Like, every time I hear about servo death, every time I hear about something cooking off, it is, with minimal exception, it is tiny it is, in my terms, tiny ass batteries. So this was Irwin charging a 3S650, and to be honest, I'm surprised that there's that much of the battery left. And also, I mentioned this to the blind man who was there when I was watching your video on it. If you had, where is he? If you had this in the Lipo bag, I don't know if it would have held it, because something energy density. I mean, an 850 is 9.5 watt hours. So a 650 would be what? 7 watt hours or so? This is 48. So we would be like 7 of those 650s cooking off at the same time. This would have burned a hole in the bench. The one that I have right here. See this right here? Urgenix 1000. The tiny little 1002Ss. It cooked off right there. And the only reason this building is standing right now is because that battery was on this silicone mat. Because I did everything incorrectly. It was 100,000% my fault. I charged it unattended, and I didn't charge it in a bag. Which, you can do one of those two things. If you're standing right next to it, you don't have to put it in a bag. If you're leaving it in a bag, you can leave it unattended, but I would say, if it's convenient for you, I've heard more than one person say that they put their whole charger mechanism is inside their fireplace. Perfect. I wish I had a fireplace out here. It makes me want to get an old Ben Franklin stove.
Get some brick.
Open the little metal door, an old like glass blowing kiln. Just put the chargers in there inside the bricks. Yeah, I worry about it. There's videos all over the place of, you name the battery, that battery just cooking off for what appears to be no reason. That latest one, I think it was in Australia, where it was like a scooter battery. You have never in your life seen a fire advance so quickly. Well, because it's making its own fire. It's what do they call it? Lithium is self-igniting. So like the one cell goes, and then the other cell just goes, well, I guess I'll go too. And then when the Tesla crashes or whatever the else crashes, they have thousands and thousands of individual cells. So each cell just keeps cooking off and cooking off and cooking off. And as you know, if you take raw lithium and throw it in water, it explodes. So water on a lithium fire does nothing. So now they're working on these like blankets that they shoot over the top of a car that basically just smothers by removing all the oxygen. But then they have to leave the cover over it for like 18 hours. So now it used to be, and they're like, oh, well, there's a lot more fires when it comes to internal combustion cars. Yeah, 95% of cars are internal combustion cars. That's a false equivalency. But anyway, when your internal combustion car lights on fire, a cop pulls up, gets a fire extinguisher out of the back of his cruiser, sprays some white stuff on it, and the fire goes out. When your Tesla catches fire on the side of the 5 freeway, it shuts the whole freeway down for 6 hours because the guys have to come out with the special chemical trucks to try to encase it in a glob of foam until the fire stops. Ask your folks if you don't mind. Please like the stream if you haven't already. Much appreciated. Hey, please like the stream if you haven't already. Stephen Turner and I would much appreciate it. Never, ever, ever leave a charging lipo unattended. 100%. And then the man from Washington said, I refuse to go bungee jumping. I was brought into this world due to a broken rubber, and I'm not leaving this world because of one. Oh, it's JP Worth that charges them in the fireplace. If I charge batteries in the house, my wife would kill me. So with the recommendation to use an outrunner for my Tsunami, would you just go with the secure combo? I'd go secure combo. Honestly, go secure. Here's what you do. Buy the secure combo. Put it in there. If you have no issues with it whatsoever, if it sounds right, if it feels right, then just leave it alone. And then the next time you build one, get another secure combo and repeat the process. If you feel like, ooh, I feel like the motor is a little too quick or a little too slow, you can treat yourself to something like a Rhino S12. Just swap out the motor. That secure 70 amp will do the job easily 90% of the time. If you're committed and you really want a big receiver-powered servo, something like a Reefs, right? Say you got a raw 500 and you can't let it go. You can either buy yourself a Rhino V80 or you can buy yourself the Secure 120 with the 10 amp BEC. Do a little bit of soldering if that's your thing. You can buy a Hyper, about $110 for a Hyper, and then you will never put that secure combo in a drawer and say, well, I'm never going to use that again. The next thing that comes along, that's going to be the first system that goes in it, and then you go from there. You will never waste anything from the secure combo. Like I have one in the drawer right now because it was intended to go into here. I had fully intended to put a secure in here, and then I forgot. That in their divine and infinite wisdom, our friends over at Axial, they did a thing. In what I have to presume is a measure of the cost-saving variety. I'll show you what I'm talking about momentarily. Once I have these screws in, I can turn this thing over somewhat safely. What they did is they made a plastic motor plate for the 10 Pro, which is fine. There's nothing explicitly wrong with a plastic motor plate. But the plastic motor plate, free? My buttons don't work, I just remembered. So, you see this right here? You see the little ledge? Well, you can see how thick the motor plate is there and then how it thins out, and see I made my little adapter piece. That little ledge basically prevents the installation of any outrunner unless you turn it upside down and have the wires come out facing the bottom. I tried that and it put the wires right here because the 10 Pro axle doesn't have that pinch. The front uppers are basically straight out. They go into this little notch right here in the side. So I could have bought an aluminum motor plate, and I was just trying to build it out of what I had on hand. So what we ended up with is what we have now. And I'm genuinely hoping that it works. My phone has just broken, so I went to get my old one out. It has swollen up and burst open. Oh, that's fun. That is fun. So with the recommendation, use an outrunner. Oh, yeah, okay. Here, but not really here. Breaking rules here, man. Yeah. If you're watching a stream illicitly, it just feels better. Like you feel like you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. It's great. I support it. Secure motor in Xerox currently feels great. Hope to get it out on some actual rocks. I think we're here. I think I went with that. We'll find out momentarily. Charge mine on the stove on a flat tortilla pan and both batteries in charge in fire bags. All right, Vegas Steve is covering all the bases.
Got the hood vent and everything.
You can't slam amps into the under 850s. Half an amp is the way. Yeah. Hey, man, I'm trying to set up the, I'm assuming Mias controller, but I'm not sure how to hook it up to the ESC motor battery. It's for the TRX4M. I have no idea. If you go in the Discord, there's a pen. There's a little hollow, a little hole in the rocks for the micro people to talk about micros. It's all the way down at the bottom where it belongs. It's called Micros Talk Here and Nowhere Else, because I will give you a smack on the wrist and or face if you're caught talking about micros outside the micro forum. I don't know anything about TRX4Ms at all. Here's what I know about TRX4Ms. It irritates the actual life out of my body every time I try to do a search for a part for a TRX4 and the parts that come up are TRX4M parts. If there was a way that I could retrain my internet, get the AIs working on this immediately, if there was a way that I could make the internet ignore all SCX30, SCX24, and TRX4M content, throw the Red Cat Apex in there as well. I don't want it. I don't need it. I need to take a new panorama of the course out back. And then I'll shrink it down. And then what is going to happen is anytime anybody asks me a micro question, I'm just going to post a picture of my backyard. I live in Southern California. It is typically 75 degrees Fahrenheit on Christmas Day. It rains less than 20 days a year. There is sub-zero reasons for me to own a micro. And then this is all the least. Man was admitted to the hospital that swallowed toy horses. His condition, stable. Beer, beer, beer. Pinning it. Pinning it. Pin. Yeah, that's solid. I am going to hit my kid with that one. They are going to hate it. My top one would be... why can't you hear a pterodactyl going to the bathroom? Because the P is silent. That one got my kid. Thoughts on Tilly Norwood, the AI actress? She won't be eligible for any awards as screen actor. Wait, is this real? Raccoon? Is this real? Oh, dang. Neil Daniels with a solid... He's addicted to brake fluid, but it's okay. He can stop anytime he wants. Hey-oh! I wish... We need like a bell. Ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding. I have one around here somewhere. I have one of those bells you ring it.
Why don't you?
No, when the cyclists go by and you ring the bell. This is improving my mood tremendously. Honest to God. Who knew? The only thing that will ruin my mood is if I pull this drawer out too far and it falls on my feet.
It will improve my mood.
Yeah, well. I heard something jingling and my hopes went up. Okay. It wasn't... Wait. It'll do. My old bike belt. You know what I found? So I was digging in it. What's brown and sticky? That's one of my favorite jokes. SCT Drive. No, I wasn't yelling at you for talking about 124th. I said go to the Discord. We have a section where you reprobates can congregate and talk about your micro stuff. I think it's all the way at the bottom. If it's not all the way at the bottom, you know what? I'll reorganize it right now. I think it's all the way at the bottom. Nope, it's not. Can I move it on the phone? No. I got to do it in the house. It's fourth from the bottom. It needs to be below 3D printing. It's not fair. No, 24, yep. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Like I say, different strokes for different folks. I don't have anything explicitly negative to say about micros, except that they cost too much and that they're impossible to work on and that I don't want one. But I'm not saying, oh, you bought a micro, you're an idiot. No, that's a different thing, right? I don't go to Topgolf, right? But I don't think people that go to Topgolf are idiots. I've driven by many of them, and it's never in my head have I gone, man, I should go into Topgolf. I don't know why. I used to go to the driving range down the street. Topgolf is like, imagine you take a driving range and a video game and mash it together. So there's like 4 decks of it's like a driving range, but it has like the radar things, so it'll tell you how far your ball went.
Well, you're not really hitting a ball.
No, you're hitting an actual golf ball. There's one down in Ontario now. Okay. Yeah. Oh, hello, Mr. Scribner. Why do gorillas have big nostrils? Have you ever seen the size of their fingers? Hey-oh! Man, just keeps going. What did I miss in the past hour? Nothing. I think 1/10 is cool, man. I was just curious. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, if I knew about 18th, I would tell you. But I don't. I feel like, I've definitely mentioned this before. I feel like this is something I've said before. I feel like that when you get to a point in your life where you can say there's a great power in the phrase, I don't know. Because there are a lot of people that I've witnessed, particularly on the internet. The internet seems to be kind of heavy in the number of people that are incapable of saying, I don't know. They will try to provide some kind of an answer to a question that they are not qualified to answer. And because I am labor conserving by nature, I will conserve energy at any given opportunity. Man, it's a whole lot easier to just say, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with it. Ignorance, being ignorant, is not a negative. It is changeable. You can fix it. You can learn. But when it comes to micros, I don't want to. So I will be blissful in my ignorance of all things micro. But 24 Yep is here. Ask him. He'll know. I think. I don't know. Maybe the 24th scale guys don't like the 18th scale stuff. I don't know. They're like, ugh.
It's the battle.
Universal rule of scale makes 24th scale preferable. Preferable for what? Why?
Your
Yeah. 24s are okay as long as you don't shove them in my face. Whatever you do at home is your own business. Yeah. Though, I mean, I don't think I've ever witnessed anyone from the micro world proselytizing the micro world. They're like, oh man, you've no one's ever been like, oh man, you don't know what you're missing not having any micros. So, and that's good. You know, they haven't turned it into RC veganism. So
same thing, just smaller rocks.
It's the same thing, but smaller. I think you should operate a vehicle that is suitable to your environment. You know. But like I say, it'll be out there. It's out there every year, presumably, out at Proline by the Fire, the little 24th scale village. And all you need to know about the capability, the capacity of scale versus capability is the capacity of scale is you take your 10th scale and you maraud through Microtown because no line will challenge you. If you take your 10th scale to the 24th scale indoor course and you can't murder it, you need to start over. Those dudes are running around on tires that are... Oh, while I was looking for a bell, look at this. Shock Tech USA gun butter. And look how full it is. Oh, we're going to try that on something. Look at, oh, okay. I would like to point something out. This Shock Tech gun butter was probably 10, 12 bucks back in the O-Day. There's some hater sauce, although the hater sauce is like an in-house blend of greases now to make that crazy periwinkle color. The original hater sauce was that like dark green. This is what $10 to $12 will get you today. Oh, it's like like a thimble. Like a thimbleful. I will try any grease. At least once. At least once. Universal scale is very simple. You are allowed to own 24 110, 10 110s. Don't get me started those poor 1/5 scales. That's crazy. I have them all. My backyard is small, and I have a little kiss, and I can't go out and use it, so I use minis out back. Hey, all right. Yeah. I was just talking in micro that they are definitely too expensive, bordering on 10th scale soon. Isn't that new Apex Elite or whatever, isn't that thing like 250 bucks? Like, you can get a baseline for that. You can buy a Sendero SE for $200. They go on sale all the time. That's wild. They can fit $150 micros in the space of a 10 scale. Yeah. They're cheap to ship. Yeah, it's logistics. I've been saying that for years, that micros are a logistics dream. I'd be running 1/10 if I had the space, but I don't, so I run 24s. Yeah, there you go.
That's a reason to do 24s.
I can't believe I got fired from the calendar factory. All I did was take a day off. I think I was the only lucky one that snuck a mini in under the radar. And when I sent him in the temper, because it was technically 18 scale and I put 10 scale axles under it. Yeah, if it's got 12 millimeter hexes, it gets the soft pass. That's why the UTB 18 gets the soft pass. Also, that the UTB 18 is not 18th scale at all. It's bigger than a 10th scale sedan, and a 10th scale sedan is actually 10th scale. Some of my 24s do 10 scale lines. Yeah, I mean, sure. There's been micros out on the rocks back here. It takes them a real long time to get to the top of an obstacle that will take a capable 10 scale a few minutes to conquer the whole thing. But, you know, as long as you're having fun, man.
That's all that matters.
Did somebody say it's Hugo's birthday? I can't believe I'm missing the live on my birthday. This guy. In your opinion, what's a good dig box gearbox combo? Amazon tricolor dig box, sometimes sold as the QT. The one that's red, silver, and black. It's the only one that's really worth buying. After that, cost goes up significantly at each successive step, and you don't really get much more performance. I can't tell you to get an LCXU and put a dig unit on it, which is your best imaginable option, because Axial refuses to sell the LCXU individually. I'm glad we're picking on the micros this week. I took a beating last week, and then in parentheses, Vanquish. Do we buy a visit to Vegas for Hugo and some girls? I mean, be expensive. Is the inability to say I don't know a reflection of AI's inability to say I don't know? I think that much like I have what I call bro truck theory, where you either start off a douchebag and then you buy a bro truck to cement it, or possibly you start off as a normal person and then you buy a bro truck and it turns you into a douchebag.
Because you hang out with bro truck owners.
Right. Which are already douchebags. Yeah. So it's an infinite circle of douchebaggery. So with AI, is AI's inability to say, I don't know, is that part of the programming, or is that something that it has gleaned from younger millennials, older Gen Zs having an inability to say, I don't know? They always have an answer. They always try to provide an answer, even if it's something they're not qualified in. How has the new squirt grease been holding up? It's only on 2 rigs, but so far it seems fine. It's definitely more goopy on the gear, so I believe that their resistance to schlingen is probably accurate. And it's not that much more than a conventional bottle of squirt. Oh, it's right there, squirt e-bike. And I'm going to keep using it. That bottle should last me a long time because I've never bought a bottle of wax specifically for this. I use those bottles of Squirt and Smooth as touch-ups because I was a hot wax guy. Have you tried Lucas gun oil or grease? Not gun oil, no. I will try any grease at least once. Doesn't sound right to my ear. Yeah, but then if you look, let me get my pointer stick. Yamalube, CV joint grease, another CV joint grease over there. Mobile One synthetic, Lucas Red and Tacky. Here's some of the J Concept stuff. Here's my homebrew stuff. These are all full. One of them is full of the blue. This is all grease in here. We've got the different waxes. There's a couple tubes of grease hidden down in there. I will try. There's a bottle of Vanquish grease over there behind the dinosaur. We will try any grease at least once. And if it doesn't do something that the other greases don't do, then there's really no reason to spend the money on it. The new thing is damping grease. It's wild. Damping grease. If they just didn't use those flipping 1.4 millimeter screws, I can't even see the holes. 100%. The Canyon was donated to UTB 18 and it sits on the wall for well over a year. It's in a box now. It moved to a box. What's the difference between a lesbian and a Ritz cracker? One's a snack cracker and the other one's a crack snacker? That one's borderline. One's borderline. Why was the calendar scared? Because its days were numbered? I didn't understand. Wes Perryman. I almost want to pin that one. I didn't understand why so many 1/10th guys were so snobby about 1/24th until the SCX30 released. Yeah, they made an even smaller one now. The SCX30. I wonder how long it'd take to get through deadline with a micro. Oh, man. Somebody needs to come out and do it. Get your 24th scale. Come out here and we'll time you through deadline. It actually, some of the pinches would actually be easier for a 24th. But then there are going to be some sections that you have to bridge over that will be just completely vertical. And I don't know how you're going to get over it all because they're reliant on tires of at least 475 tall. Only a couple class 1s have made it all the way through deadline, and they did a lot of it by body grinding. Have you ever had a 1/6 scale on your course? Yes, there's been 2 SCX6s here. I view the SCX6 as a pure trailing vehicle. It does have absolute capacity of scale. It will kill 10th scale lines, a lot of 10th scale lines at 25 pounds because an SCX6 wouldn't even completely fit in the frame right here. It is truly enormous. The tires are 7 inches tall and the motor is that big around and that long. It is true. It's like they took a 10.3, they put it in a copier and they blew it up about 100%. It's ridiculous how big it is. And I can get the fun of it. And as a trail vehicle, you can put 2 4S 9,000 packs in that thing and drive it for like 6 hours straight. I get it. But I don't really need it. If you gave me that or Bruce, I'm going to take Bruce 10 times out of 10. I got hit with a ruler in school for saying I don't know, so it could be a school thing. Awesome work on the trailer, by the way. The Ferris Bueller bit was relatable to how I'm modifying a model kit for my rig. Never had one lesson. It's what I think about whenever I'm trying to do anything that I don't know what I'm doing. Oh man, it really jumped. I'm falling way behind. The answer doesn't know enough to know it doesn't know. Let's see what I can see from where I sit. Vanquish VS410 portal under construction. RC everyday sedan rod. Optic Ecto 12. Sendero SE 2 Red Cat Ascent 18 and 10 SCX24s. I might like all cars. Yeah. Sounds like you do. So I have the more Lordy TRX4 chassis that I've been putting the Mias AR44 straights on, figuring out the links for a week now, and I hope when it's finished it brings me joy again. That ended well. Mr. C, do you plan on installing those reef shocks and continuing the review on the rocks? I'd love to have your full opinion. Oh, I was under the impression that those shocks were sent in for me to test and return, so they're sealed in a padded mailer right over there. I wasn't going to scratch them up. I didn't know that I was supposed to term test them. I sent out an email and it was never responded to. Recommend me a good gear lube. My number one go-to is Stay Lube CV joint grease, extreme pressure anti-seize. Usually about $10 at any auto parts store. If you're international, you can probably find Yamalube, easier. Molybdenum disulfide grease. They're, in my experience of using the two, they feel pretty much exactly the same. But I buy greases all the time because I'm constantly questing to find something that's just a little better than the other. I wonder how some generic KY jelly would do for gear grease. It would break down really fast. Also, KY is meant to make things slick, and greases are not explicitly meant to make things stick. I don't think KY is going to stick to the gears. It's all going to go and be all over the inside of the gearbox. But you can give it a try. Any lubricant can work as a lubricant. I mean, if you sealed the gearbox and filled it with water, that would work. Water is a lubricant. It would not work great, and it would be very loud, and it would turn into just a horrible black milk inside fairly quickly. But you could use avocado oil in there. Like, any lubricant will lubricate. It's just who can do it better for longer, is what she said. I've been working on a tube of Lucas Marine for probably 4 years. It's probably better, but it's better than nothing, and it was cheap at Lowe's.
Yep.
Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Speaking of lube, P. Diddy sentencing today. Hey-oh. Currently finishing up the loose ends on my Wizard chassis. Can't wait to get it out. It is really good. 6 is afraid of 7 because 7, 8, 9. That is true. Deadline needs to be raised like 36 inches off the ground for me to bother running 1/24th on it. He doesn't want to crouch. What about a mini basher, like a Trax Mini going up and down Tumbledore? I don't like... don't think it's just crawlers. I don't do mini bashers either. An SCX6 is 3 feet long, thereabouts, yeah. When I heard that oxygen and magnesium are dating, I was like, OMG. I get it. That's a science joke. As a Gen Z, we were told if we did not have an answer, we would fail entire grades, so we constantly had to make shit up. All right, could be. Could be.
That whole Common Core thing.
Reefs. Okay, I see what he's doing. Okay, the man from Tennessee is being an instigator because he said Reefs grease is the best. I wonder how oil would work in a Vanquish axle since they got that oil top-off plug. I can say with some certainty the stuff that doesn't leak out around the third member is going to get pumped out through the bearings because you have no seals in that axle. Now, are you a machinist? Because if the answer is yes, you could seal that axle and then you could find out. I would love that. I don't know why we don't have sealed axles that run gear oil in them. That would be awesome. But we don't. Probably because they would require more maintenance. Left for a minute and you come back and you guys are KYing gearboxes. Excuse me. Yeah. Pickle juice can be used as a lube, but it's not going to work well. Yeah. Anything can be used as a lubricant to some degree of success. Use KY when you woodwork or something to get it to slide together, although I prefer Astroglide. It's water-based and doesn't feel like butter afterwards. There you go. Look at Mobile SHC. It doesn't impregnate plastic gears like molybdenum does. I don't have a problem with it impregnating the plastic gears, though. We need to get a Summit to the Canyon. They're pretty much gone now. I keep seeing them for sale in my local area, but they want like $600. and I ain't got it. Is a VRD straight kit a decent kit to build? It's okay. It's on par. Just don't expect a uniquely Vanquish experience. Like, if side by side it's base camp kit or VRD straight builder's kit, I'm going to take the base camp kit. It's got a better gearbox in it. I would take, and yeah, potential hot take, I would take the LCXU over a VFD, what do they call it? Spec. I would take an LCXU over a VFD spec because you can add dig to it a lot cheaper. I don't say I don't know because I don't know. I say I don't know because I like making up things and providing fake info. Yeah. Please have at it, brother. Honestly, I don't need them back, but that's why I sent the springs. Apologize not responding. It's been oh, it was you. It was you. For real, I'd trade you for stickers or that UTB 18. we will. I will definitely. If you want me to give them a test, I mean, I could put them on this. So I will definitely find something to mount them on and run them through their paces. What gets wetter as it dries? A towel. What gets? Oh yeah. What gets? How does it work? Dang it! I had all the riddles. And he got me with the towel. What flies when it's on and floats when it's off? That's the one I can remember off the top of my head. Someone please use actual butter for grease. I think you'd have to pack it. Like, you would have to pack the gearbox with butter because then it's going to melt and it will all just be down at the bottom of the gearbox, but the teeth should be able to raise it up. Ooh, and then it'll froth and then you'll have whipped butter in there. Yes.
Then it'll
please.
turn rancid and stink up your
Someone fill a gearbox with butter, please. I'd love to have oil-filled transmission and axles more realistic for my TISM. You can do it. My old 80s Kyosho Scorpion used to have a sealed gearbox that used oil as basically an oil bath for the gears. Yeah. Need to change the name of the live to Greasing into the Weekend. Yes. Josh Smith says, I'm a machinist and now I have to try this. All you need to do is basically anybody with a laser or a CNC, you need to cut a gasket for the third member. And then you need to machine either right at the exit points of the housing. You either need to machine there or you need to machine right inside the output bearings, depending on how much oil you want in there, just to put a seal of some kind. I mean, they could basically be nitrile O-rings, really. Our shaft velocity is not that high. And then the bearing would hold it into place. And as long as you have the ability to hold that on, I don't know. Like, would we use 75W90? Would we be running 90 weight or would we be running like lightweight stuff? I don't know. I think it could be great. I think it would, if you did the whole thing where the seals are at the ends, I think it would really quiet an axle down, like a lot. What's a good RTV for plastic? You don't need to be a machinist. You just need a sealing compound. Forma gasket, bottle of Forma gasket. But I look at it from the perspective of an oil-filled axle is inevitably going to require more service than a greased axle. And if you run it in any kind of environment where you are concerned that your method of sealing might not be perfect, because you have to take the pinion side into consideration as well. You have to hope that using two sandwiched rubber sealed bearings will hold that oil in, because I can't think of, unless,
or water out.
I guess you could machine the land in between the two bearings and put a seal between the two bearings. I guess you could do it that way. And then just run an open bearing on the inside. That's another possibility. But you're going to have to be able to take that axle apart. If just to inspect it, if you run it through water and you have any notion that water got in there, yeah, and an oil-filled axle is going to need to vent. Yeah, that as well. So you're going to have a tube that runs up onto the chest. Like, all of a sudden, it's a real car. Cow RC Utter Butter is the best. It sticks to the gears. I don't know if he's saying that truthfully or if he's doing the Reefs RC grease is the best, because there is I will say this as an absolute devotee of high moly content, petroleum-based non-lithium greases. I will say there is no such thing as the best grease. The CalRC stuff is not ridiculously priced, and if you're having good results, whatever you're using, if you're having good results with it, keep using it. There's no reason to change it, unless you're a psychopath, and whenever you see a new grease, you buy a tube of it.
Ooh, grease.
Ooh, grease. Exactly. Or use giant O-rings like Element does during the Sendero OSE. Yeah, but Element doesn't retain those O-rings in any way. They're just floating around. The oil would just go right out around them. I'm going to go now RTV my TRX-8 and oil bath everything. Yes. What material of gears makes the least noise? Nylon. If you're talking about metal gears are going to be noisy. Metal on metal is noisy. I won't run def fluid just because of the smell. And I'm assuming he means real gear oil. Yeah, gear oil stinks. You know, Mr. Schmidt, have you ever been at a racetrack when a racing vehicle burns up its rear end? Oh, yeah. Gear oil stinks. Burned up gear oil is way up the list of one of the worst things you can possibly smell. There's your hole for a tube. I mean, you could, yeah. You could just run the vent out of that tube.
Vanquish, just fucking thread that little fill cap and...
I can smell 90 weight just by talking about it. What's your opinion on the Wizard as a mullet? Which setup do you prefer? I prefer mullet. It is the simplest, it is the absolute simplest, basically off-the-shelf mullet solution that we have. And I see absolutely no drawbacks to it. So if you are building a Wizard and you are considering at all running it as a mullet, I would encourage you to do so.
Or at least try it out.
Or try it out. That is another, or at least try it out. That is another beauty of the Wizard. It comes with all the parts. So if you don't like it as a mullet, for whatever reason, you just turn it back. What's on the bench? Trucks of Fortune. The answer is always Trucks of Fortune. I thought I had a real short JST mail. I do. Because I'm not going to need a long one for this thing. Cat's off my lap. Time to go work on Pinaby. So Miata Commuter was here just under a cat trap. Oh, and they asked earlier if I'd gotten parts. Our mail, honestly, doesn't come until like 7 o'clock at night. It is infuriating. Explain, if you will, lithium versus petroleum. You have your two bases for greases. You have lithium-based greases and you have petroleum-based greases. Petroleum-based greases have sort of fallen out of favor. I'm just going to come back over here for a second. I wish my buttons worked. Petroleum greases have fallen out of favor a little bit because the world is becoming increasingly plastic. And plastic, over a long enough frame of time, will get a little bit messed up by exposure to petroleum-based greases. Now, in a car, heat is a big component in that. We don't really get hot. And by that, I mean we don't get hot. The do not exceed on an electric motor is about 180. I try to keep them below 165. But typical operating temperature, this is all Fahrenheit, obviously. The typical operating temperature of a motor is going to be between like 90 and 120 degrees. That grease doesn't give a damn about 90 to 120 degrees. So I want the slickest, most sticketiest to the gear grease that you can get. And the higher the molybdenum content of the grease, the more it is going to stick to the stuff. Because look at a diagram of what's inside a CV joint. And a CV joint is going really fast. it's going at the same speed as the tire. So it just wants to sling everything off of it. So CV joint grease has been my go-to ever since I discovered it. And I started with a tube of Mobil 1 that is probably 20 years old. And then I bought some Lucas Red and Tacky when I first got into this. And I don't have a problem with Red and Tacky at all. It works just fine. But what I would do is I would tear open a portal box and it would be absolutely clean inside. And I'm like, where did the Red and Tacky go? So lithium greases are intended to be used more around plastic. Lithium is naturally, well, they both have about the same amount of water rejection. But a petroleum-based grease, from what I've seen, if you get the speed up high enough, they can get whipped up with water and turn into like a weird kind of slurry. Whereas the lithium greases and water tend to kind of reject each other. I don't know if they can be emulsified. Like, I don't know if you can do it. You can't make your very own lithium mayonnaise. Although maybe you can. Maybe we're just not getting high enough RPMs. I work at a Jeep dealer. Diff flushes and those would ruin the whole shop. On that axial base camp, what's that little bag with the extra double gear? It's for running portals versus straights, and I've never used it. I have a bunch of them. It's just about complete as a mullet. Few loose ends and the body needs finished. Do it. I was trying to figure out what sort of metal would be less noisy, or is it how well they fit together? There's a word for it. There's a word for it, and it's right here on a gear. Gear! Someone will be able to tell me. Typically, a gear, a cheap gear, pinion gear or whatever, will look like this. Good gears look like this. What is it called when the teeth look like that?
When the teeth are flat.
They have a little change of pitch at the tip of the gear. I can't, somebody has to know what that's called.
A machinist in there.
There's got to be a machinist that knows what it's called when the gear looks like that on the tip. So, most of the time, I can grab any amount of spur gears. 32 pitch will be a lot easier to see. So, every gear you're going to find is just going to be that straight cut. It doesn't have that double, that bevel at the end. That double bevel makes a gear significantly quieter. But they're not going to do that. You're really only going to see it on a machined gear. So we get kind of stuck. I know they used to do pinions.
I was gonna say, do you have a machined vanquish gears, or are they all installed?
They're all installed. So we've got a little bit of it on a 32. See it? This is an old Robinson. So if you wonder, oh, you can really see it on the faces right there. So if you wonder why Robinson pinions are cheaper than everybody else, I mean, are quieter, it's that. They're not cheaper. I wish they were cheaper. Jeez. Look at what the current Robinson, this is a newer one. Look how flat those are on the tip. That's crazy. Mr. C, original FCMS LC80 running a Hobby Wing 555 1080 and getting very hot and cutting out. Would that be the gearbox being tight and over the working of the motor? It could be. It could be. There is nothing about an LC80 that should get a 555 hot.
Oh, what's your outside temperature?
Well, he's in England. So it ain't the environment. Oh, I wonder if you can see it on Mod 1 better.
Either that, or is there not enough lubrication in your gearbox?
No.
And your shafts.
If there's no resistance, Yeah, I should have just shown that one. You can see that angle on it a lot on there.
Chamfering?
That's much better than my drawing. I was like, just get one with gigantic teeth. Mod 1 would have done it. I wish I had my buttons. I miss my buttons. I really do. Double bevel. Okay. Involute spline. Ooh, I like that one.
Yes. Involute spline.
Involute spline is great.
Sounds fancy.
Oh, I realized it's just absolutely because I can't push my buttons. I did not realize how much I depended on my Stream Deck. Now, when I use a big Stream Deck, I use the XL to do video editing. If that thing's not working, I will suspend video editing and just work on getting it working. I need it. It streamlines the workflow so much. And the same can be said for out here, honestly. Is that? Price is Right? Yeah, the music they play when you come on down. They did it with the stock setup too. Oh, then there's something wrong with the gearbox. Oh. Stuck in 2 gears at once could definitely do it. Could definitely do it. Are you going to get the pickle logo I posted in Discard as a decal for the pickle mullet? Man, the blind guy has said as well that he wants a pickle polishing meat glazer sticker immediately.
And I will put it on my Vanquish.
He will put it on his Vanquish. That was a lot of smoke off that one. Have you seen Tom Lee's video of the day? I haven't watched a Tom Lee video since he announced that the Red Cat Ascent was his rig of the year. And I don't think I'm alone.
Well, was it the only thing that came out that year?
No. Legitimate things also came out that year. I couldn't. I wouldn't, and I couldn't, and I shouldn't, and no one does. That is rough trade, is what that is. But yeah, pickle polishing meat glazers is absolute top tier.
Or what Gavin calls the cat inside.
House pig. So we have 4 cats, and one of them is a tortoiseshell. And if you're familiar with tortoiseshell cats can be getting a little bit bigger. So we have one. Her name is the Big Bub, and Big Bubba's, and Big Bub is big. She is bigger than all of the other cats. As a matter of fact, if you take the 2 smaller of the cats, those 2 combined are probably about Big Bub.
All 3 combined are about Big Bub.
No, Frank is a reasonable sized boy. So Big Bub was being particularly obnoxious because she was hungry. And my eldest was like, leave me alone. And then he called her the house pig. And Big Bub is my favorite. She's kind of my living spirit animal. I belly laughed at house pig. I'm still laughing about house pig. And it's funny because Tiny Lion is the one that harasses him the most. I'll download the image and make the stickers tonight with holographic laminate over them. Oh.
Sweet.
Hey, as many people are making these as possible. Mr. Mann says he's going to make them and bring some to Proline. Oh, yes. Cheers, Mr. C. Did see something online about shift servo can cause cutting out, so I guess sticking in 2 gears. Hey, Mr. Truitt knew about that as well. I never bought anything Traxxas before except bodies. I just ordered a 14 tooth pinion by Traxxas, good, better, ugly. They're absolutely fine. Basically, if I was going to classify RTR pinions from worst to first, I'm going to put Axial as the worst. They're just noisy.
If you're buying pinions, just get Robinson.
Yeah. Well, he's in the UK.
Nah.
And I'm not sure what the Robinson availability is over there.
I forget your worldwide.
I mean, your best go is, oh, I got that real hot. Your best go is a Robinson pinion and a Kimbrough spur, but it's getting really hard to get either of them. I'm doing it again. I was doing this right in front of where the camera is. I don't care who prints them. I just want one mailed my way. We have a house duck now. Saved a wild blind duck's life. Now it lives with the house pigeon. What? Are you Dr. Doolittle?
I got a duck and a pigeon.
If he's going to bring some from Proline Fire, then I won't make them too. Oh. Well,
you guys can have a sticker off. Who makes them better?
I mean, any excess ones I give, I will gladly use the Costco purchase stamps and mail them off to anybody that might want one. I will do that as an offer. Because I am still thoroughly tickled by pickle polishing meat glazers because it is such an inside joke. How many people in the world do you think are even in on that joke? There's got to be, what, now that it's on the Discord, there's going to be 200 of us that even know what that means. And regardless of who is the butt of whatever the joke is, there is definitely a feeling. You get a feeling of power when you have a joke over a certain group of people. No, I'm not talking about racism. When you have a joke, a harmless joke, mind you, that is enjoyed by so few, but true of so many. We're basically engaged in wholesale stereotyping of Vanquish owners. And it's kind of great. Does anyone use a USB solder, and would it work for what I'm doing? As long as it gets hot, right? As long as it gets above 500 degrees and melts the solder, it'll do fine. Technology is doing great. We're getting great with the technology. The soldering iron that is just out of frame right over here. Let's see if we can do this. See that guy right there? That is a Hako 936 with a 907 pen. That soldering station is older than both of my children by a reasonable amount. That soldering station is at least 30 years old. And for a short time, I thought it was dying because it wasn't heating up very fast. And the pen is obviously on that. I'm doing the thing. I just pressed the button again. So this is a 3-pin connector that goes in right here. I pulled that out. The pins looked like the bottom of a sunken boat. I cleaned it all, put it back together. That thing heats up from off to, and also it has lived through a structure fire. That thing heats up from off to fully hot in about 15 seconds. So it works better than it ever did. So clean your terminals, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. He now checks to make sure he put negative to negative and positive to positive. But as long as you check it before you snap your XT60 together, you did the right thing. You did the right thing. Is the pickle going to rock a mullet? That's what we're building. Air 44 front, TRX4 rear. Oh, we're going to get to the point where we're about to power this thing up for the first time, which is something that hasn't happened. So, allow me to introduce you to Insanity. Okay. I'm gonna need you all to buckle up.
Spitting math out.
Okay. The front axle of this vehicle is an AR-44. It is fitted with an 833 underdrive gear, giving that axle itself a 4.125 to 1 reduction ratio. For every 4.4 and 1/8 revolutions of this The axles will revolve one time. The rear axle has an 11-tooth pinion, a 34-tooth ring gear, and then has 923 pinion input and output gears on either side. The portal box has a 2.55 to 1 ratio. The center has a 3.09 to 1 ratio. If you multiply those together, the rear axle has a 7.9 to 1 ratio. If you use these just together, if you just run that and that with no gear changing whatsoever, you have 53% rear underdrive, which is a little bit too much. So in the center of this vehicle, we have a fake Creeper T transfer case, which has 3 gears inside of it, a 17-tooth on the input shaft, which is driving a 33-tooth and a 45-tooth. Why would they pick 3 odd numbers? Why would they pick 2? Why would they pick a prime number for input? The Creeper T, now officially makes me angry. They could have easily made even ratios, but they didn't. So traditionally, the way that this is run is the 17 input turns a 33 to the front, which is 1.94 to 1 ratio, and it turns a 45 to the rear, which is a 2.65 to 1 ratio. They announced this as 30% rear underdrive. Lies! Lies, lies, lies! Throw it straight to the gulag. That is 27% underdrive. What they did is they divided this into this, and then they divided that into that, and then they split the difference. It's 27 one way, 36 the other way. You do the math, you end up with 30-ish%. It's 27%. So what we have done is we have flipped it around so that the input is on the underdrive side, and we're sending the underdrive to the front. That gives us a 2.65 to 1 ratio. We multiply that by the 4.125 of the front axle, and we have a front axle output ratio, not including pinion and spur, of 10.9 to 1. So we'll call it 10.9, but for purposes of clarity, 11 to 1. 11 revolutions of the center drive shaft is 1 revolution of the wheel. Now in the rear, we have a 1.94 to 1 ratio out to the back. We multiply it by the 7.91 by 1.94. We get 15.33. This is 28.8% underdrive. But wait, there's more. It gets more fun. So what we have is we have a 10.9 to 1 front ratio, a 15.3 to 1 rear ratio, which is about 28.8%, just under 29% rear underdrive, even after doing as much underdriving of the front. This should be 40%, but that's not how ratios work. Sometimes the math ain't mathing, so we're that 28.8. We'll round it up and we'll consider it to be 29%. I was shooting for around 20. 29 will have to do. It will just alter the way that we choose tires, because some tires are not particularly fond of ratios up around 30% underdrive. So at the front of this here, and I need to see something right now. Yes, it is troublematic and it is problem filled. Okay. Before we put power to this, what I have done up here in the front, because this vehicle is fitted with a Fusion Mini 16, which is 3,000 kV, and all we do around here is 3S. So 3,000 kV plus 3S is a recipe for a twirling. So what we are trying to do is reduce that output from this as much as possible. As mentioned, 13-tooth pinion. Previously, I had fitted an 87-tooth spur on here, and it just fit. But 87-tooth spur, much to my chagrin, something has happened to it. That camera's not showing it. I pushed the button again. I pushed the button again. So this gear, I can't see it now. There it is. See right there? Something happened. I think it slipped, I think the motor plate, whatever this was in before, the motor plate flexed and shifted, and the pinion kind of coasted across the top of the gears and flattened out some teeth. So it sounds like this. So I've got a 96 in there. 96 tooth pinion, 96 tooth spur, 13 tooth pinion is a 7.4 to 1 spur to pinion ratio, and it is very smooth. Which, with the gearing that is in there right now, if you'll remember back, consult your homework and your notes, 10.9 front axle, 15.33 at the rear, with a 13 tooth pinion and a 96 tooth spur, it is 80.7 to 1 gear reduction to the front axle and 113.2 to 1 to the rear axle. That is, of course, still 28.8% net underdrive. And I think that what we were unable to capture on Rainbird, who Rainbird was the last guy that we tried to run a Fusion Mini 16 on, I think we might have enough gear reduction here. Like, this might slow it down enough. Now, what we have to do, though, is we got to fix the Stream Deck. Ooh, that's, that's, whoops. Recipe for disaster. This is going to have this might be an absolutely failed experiment. Now, the beauty of endeavoring this far into a failed experiment is this. I can fix this by ordering a $10 Amazon aluminum motor plate, which will easily accommodate an Outrunner, and then just putting any of the, like, put an 1800 in it, and then re-spur and pinion in it to accommodate an 1800. Which I would probably actually have to go to a much smaller spur and a much bigger pinion, because with all that underdrive going to the front, we do have quite a bit of reduction of ratio. But the goal is to run it on this because reasons. I just realized how, Billy's, you're 100% spot on. What needs to happen is another little bit of a mini Link Olympics, which is I just need to put a high clearance link on the front and change these offsets to straight so that the links basically go out straight and then turn. But the spur is kind of far forward. It clears the 87 with a few millimeters. What I need is a 90. Or high clearance links flipped upside. Oh, that'll do it. It's just high clearance links flipped upside down. They don't even need to be. We can just literally find a high clearance link that's about a 70. 70. So we need a 90 millimeter high clearance link. And what I'll do is we'll try to make some noise come out of this thing. This is how I found all my links yesterday. I literally just turned this upside down. No offense, but once the whiteboard came out, it all sounded like the teacher in Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 wah.
That was your time to take a bathroom break.
You know what I just realized? We might be able to fix this for free. Somebody said, why don't you just use an offset end? And when they said it, I thought, why don't I just mount the front upper link to a lower hole?
That would work too.
Now this is going to pull my pinion angle down a little, or not. Oh, son of a bitch! I labored over this, man. Now there is the possibility that this isn't going to fix it.
Don't know until they try it.
The possibility that it isn't going to fix it is because where it wants to impact, no, it fixed it.
All the hard ways to do it.
I am my very own worst enemy. I thought it was basically going to point this pinion at the ground, and I guess, I mean, it flattened it out a little bit. It flattened it out a little bit. It still touches somehow. It still touches. So no, we need to do both. Okay. But I should be able to find a link. Because one of these element links, that's a 75. We'll just start stacking them next to each other. It is a bit of a brother to Raucous, yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's going to do the thing to me again where I find nothing but 75 millimeter links. Okay. You know what we're going to do? We're going to make a pile. This is the 75 millimeter pile because I need a 70. $60. This is the only way to do it. Ooh. It's kind of nice. That's calming.
You got them all out. Let me see your longest one.
That's not the longest, but it's one of them. $75? $75. $75. $75. $75. $75. $75. 75. 75. Is there a way to add me to the members section of the Discord? My attempts linking YouTube have failed. I have no control over it. My best advice is try a different method. If you've been trying to join on mobile, try doing it on a desktop or a laptop or an iPad. Because 75. It will fight you. Maybe this is why I haven't done this. 75? That's actually an 80. Also an 80. So, if all we're finding is 75s, can I use some combination of different rod ends? I mean, it'll kill me. This whole rig is nothing but S-bend to 75 if that's all that you can find. How much further back is the next hole? The next hole is can't see. I can't see because I don't have superhuman eyes. Seven millimeters. It might work. It might work. Give me 2 matching 75s. Okay. It's either that or we link Olympics until everybody goes home. I'd rather just try to put it together. Is it not worth getting a box with dividers to put links in individual sections like you do with screws so you have them sized?
Finding the box.
I will get in a plane right now, and I don't like planes, and I will come to the United Kingdom and I will fight you. If you don't think that I haven't been looking for an off-the-shelf solution for link storage since the beginning of time, you would be mistaken. It's just that finding something, I basically need one container with about 20 compartments twice, because I need to organize bent links and I also need to organize straight links. So as it stands now, this is what I have to deal with. It's horrible and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And but wait, it's worse. You hear this? That's me trying to pull out the drawer that has these infernal bastards in it. Which are what I call sub 3-inch. Because if you drop those into the container with the rest of them, they all disappear. So link organization. I've lost my thing of rod ends. Link organization is one of the banes of my existence. Just make each link so you have no extras unless you make one. That sounds way worse.
You gotta order everything you need.
It sounds way worse. I choose the opposite route, which is I'm just going to start buying so many links that there's no situation that I couldn't possibly have a link for. I'm using some used rod ends as the good Lord intended. And I'm probably going to have to pop the hollow balls out of these. But you know what? You never know. You never know. Just link it. Link Olympics, man. It's how I live. And as I said, this thing has never been put together all the way. Could Matthew design a tray that fits in a larger box? I did some trays for my Amazon box. Where is he? Is he here? Because I had forgotten about the 3D guy. I didn't forget about Dre, but I had forgotten about the 3D guy. Get the 3D guys working on it immediately. I am not mentally strong enough. I mean, I could print them. Just straight titanium takes less than 5 minutes to make a link. I make links. You are operating in stark opposition to the woodworker's credo, which is I make it if I can't buy it. I have an irrational number below zero desire to make all of my own links. Off-the-shelf links are an absolute treat. You know what's even better than off-the-shelf links? Link kits, where you just buy a set of links and you slap it on something. It makes me understand why people get all harumph when Mias isn't offering the bundle that has the axles, the chassis, and the links together for the Gold Rush. And I'm like, just put links on it. He says as he cleans up his pile of 100 links, and I've now built every link for this thing 4 times each. Comp in the woods. What do I put my box of spares and tools? Oh, what do I put in my box of spares and tools? Okay. You can make every effort to keep all the spares in there. And it might not be Murphy's Law, but there has to be a similar law that will state the part you break will be the part you didn't pack. Guaranteed. Tools are easy. For most RC cars, you're going to need these 3. You're going to need a 1.5, a 2, and a 2.5. You're going to need the nut drivers, and if you want to pack light and you don't care about your wrists or your finger integrity, you can grab yourself. Everybody's got one. I have more than a couple. You just bring yourself, like you pick out the one that you like the most, and you just bring a cross wrench because it's going to fit all of the common stuff. It's going to be annoying, right? But it'll get you there. And then if your vehicle requires anything vehicularly specific, like a part that's only on that vehicle, but how race teams do this in the real world, they'll just bring another one. They will literally bring another one. Like whatever the race vehicle is, they have like a practice rig or another version of that exact same car. And if something breaks, they just take the part off of that and they put it on that one. The only way you can be sure to be prepared for every eventuality is to bring a second one. I take very little, like I take the stuff that threaded screw pins, like the pins that go into drive shafts, I take extras of those. I take extra drive pins that go in the wheel hexes. Those are in like a little baggie. Extra wheel nuts, stuff. If you think about a part that if that part falls off, the whole vehicle stops working. Extra servo horn. The screws that hold the drag link onto your servo horn. Basically, your spare parts should fit in this. If you're taking more spare parts than this, you might as well just be bringing in an entire vehicle. Because whatever you need, odds are you're not going to have it. So an assortment of screws. Wait, I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again. So, following prior debacles, I've shown this thing before. It's my lift and lock. It's a tackle box for toy cars. When you do it this way, everything is locked. It can't open. When you do it this way, everything is locked and it has a handle. And when you go this way, the drawer's open. Okay? So inside this top drawer, we've got hollow balls. You know what? 2 or 3 would be better. We've got some assorted screws, fasteners, drivers, rod ends of various size, nut drivers of various size, a couple different hollow balls. We've got bags of beadlock hardware. We've got screws. We've got basic stuff. If you will notice, there is nothing in this drawer that is vehicularly specific. There's a flashlight because you will not be able to see into the cranny that you're trying to see into. It's beadlock screws. It's regular screws. It's lock nuts. There's the little adapter to do SSD hardware in case somebody's running hubs. A couple different styles of nut drivers. We've got the Vanquish adapter, so you can do 5mm nuts. In the second drawer is tools. We can go back over here. It's tools. It's all my other tools. Set of these, handy, right? Different drivers. Pair of flush cutters if you need to cut zip ties off. Some zip ties are a good idea. Have some zip ties.
No, I'll put those in practice.
And then in the bottom one, nut drivers, body scissors, spare transmitter batteries. Spare transmitter batteries are a 100% should be in your box because did you charge them? Are you sure? And I actually have 2.
Do you have shark pliers in there?
Yes. Some electrical tape. Pair of scissors.
Zip ties.
There's zip ties up in the top. 4-inch zip ties. And then this one has a big old top section, but there's usually transmitters and stuff up here in the top of the box. You can. Okay, I have a box. I have a box. If you are a normal person of normal needs and capabilities, you can fit everything you need to support your trip out there in a container no bigger than this, and probably smaller than this. You can fit all of your tools. You can fit all of your little spares. I'm sure that many of you also keep things like this. And you'll notice that would you could perfectly fit a couple of those stacked in there. And then a pro tip, if you're feeling like a pro tip from an idiot, just an idiot in a shed that never forget. If you start to forget, begin to remember that I am an idiot in a shed and I am smooth-brained. If you find a box of the correct size, I'm trying to see if I have one. I think I put it on Bruce is where the one I'm looking for is. Yeah. You can put a battery strap around this so it'll be impossible for it to pop open. MKRC, what I am trying to do is organize suspension links in 5mm increments. So basically what I would need is, my whiteboard is covered and I don't know if I'm ready to erase it yet, so I have to try to find my paper.
Inch wide or bigger than that?
Try an inch wide.
Inch wide by 7.5.
So imagine, if you will, we would have a box, right, or a tray of some kind. It can be as many as it need be, and then let's say that they're like an inch wide, right? Let's say these are whatever width you want them to be, and then this one would be like this, and that whole chamber is say 50mm long. And then this one is 60mm long, and then this one is 70mm long, right? And then the next, so that's what? That's 180. So then on this side we would have 80 and 90, right? You see what I'm going? And then on this side we'd have 100 and right? So the whole thing would probably have to be 8 inches long, 8.5 inches long this way, lengthwise. So probably about an 8-inch by 8-inch footprint is about as big as it would need to be. And then it just has, because we usually have links from around 50mm up to around 150mm. Yeah. Yeah, 7.5 inches. Yeah. So if the footprint was about 8 by 8, with just that, it doesn't need to be incredibly thick and or robust. If you can just design it and send me the file, you know I got the big guy here. My print bed is 330 by 330, so I can definitely print something that's like 210 by 210. And if it needs to be a little wider or a little longer, I haven't gone, because the way a woodworker would do it is we would start taking strips of wood and we'd start cutting the half dados so they can slide together. But I haven't gotten into it because, well, I mean, on the one level I don't want to. On the one level I don't want to. Because then it seems like I've committed. Dominic posted a drill bit organizer for links in the Discord. What? Why did we not think drill bit organizer? You looked? Where, General? Wait, nope. Oh, man. Holy cow. That's outstanding.
All the ones I saw weren't long enough.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that one that Dominic posted is pretty much exactly. That's basically almost exactly what I'm talking about.
I just know drill bits aren't as long as links.
Yeah, for sure. Check rig photos while you're on Discord. I mean, that is. The racks of ribs with the pickle in the middle, I don't know. It's so unappealing on some level, but at the same time, I'm like, oh man, I love it. It's so terrible. Like, my eyes don't want to look at it. Is that a 5? Why did I have a 5? Now I'm glad that I forgot to put the drive shafts on. I'm going to take this whole thing apart again. It wouldn't be a Canyon joint if we weren't taking it apart for the 5th time, you know? Is 50 millimeters the shortest box you want? I mean, I have shorter, but I don't know by how much. Yeah, 50 overall is by far the shortest that I would need. I mean, this is a 60 millimeter link, and look how short that link is. It's almost as if it's 60 millimeters long. And I think that when I was drawing it, I was showing in 10 millimeter jumps. They need to be in 5 millimeter increments. So it has to go 50, 55, 60, 65. So I just doubled the number of bins. I think it's going to be 20 compartments. As I say, if you need to print it in little strips that I stack next to each other, that's absolutely fine. I just am quite literally losing my mind having to do this. This is not sustainable. Oh no, ends I've got covered. 4 millimeter rod ends angled, 4 millimeter rod ends short. Yeah, no, the links and the ends can be absolutely separated. Absolutely fine. Just needs to be the links. He has no knowledge of whether this will work, but he does it anyway. Is it worth added 5 millimeter extra to box slots, 60 for 55? Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah, trucks of fortune all day, every day. Now, I think if I install them like a thus, I am thoroughly enjoying the Corley shock pliers. So, for at least once, perhaps in my life, it was worth spending the extra money on a set of shock pliers. I mean, they were like $6 more than I usually pay for shock pliers, but sometimes, oh yes, Henry. Why is Henry thinking so much more clearly than I am? TOF, Trucks of Friday. That's really good. That's really good. I like that a lot. Okay, we're going to try this. For worser or worser, we're going to try this. And it doesn't look like we're going to have any drive shaft interference from how I saw it before. So we definitely shouldn't have any drive shaft interference. It's kind of just working out. The spur gear thing that's on me. I started building around the 87, not noticing that the 87 was damaged. And then I thought, well, I mean, if an 87 fits, we can obviously fit a 96. A 96 is a good piece bigger around. To me, I just released some soft jaw pliers. Oh. These also, after all the links that I've done so far, I have very little. They also, I'm balisonging. Ooh. These are okay. I like that it's a bolt with a lock nut at the front over all the others. And I also like that it doesn't have anything sticking out the front because that part doesn't work. It basically holds shock bodies and links / shock shafts. You can put links in a fishing float box with the foam inserts. No foam inserts, no removable dividers. I'm staunchly anti-removable divider from the fasteners. Oh! Was it Dominic? Who told me about Beadcraft? On truck for delivery. I ordered 6. They didn't get back to me for like 9 days. And then all of a sudden it said, your item is shipped and now it's going to arrive today. So they hobby winged me. But I'm fine with that. You know what? It's early to celebrate, but it's real early. Had soft jaw pliers for years, but they were for airbrushes made by Iwata. I remember Iwata. You were either an Iwata man or you were a Posh man. It was the Ford versus Chevy of airbrushes. Meanwhile, I had a Badger because I was poor. Okay, I'm probably going to have to put a little tweaky twist on these to get them to clear. We will see. Because these now, with the big turn at the front, it looks like it's going to clear the hell out of the spur gear. And it looks like the drive shaft's going to be real close. But I'm an element behind the axle guy, so I'm used to having a drive shaft come really close to links, to where it wears its own groove in it. Marcus! It was Marcus. Thank you, Marcus. Somebody finally had them. Are you jesting? Are you absolutely kidding me? Oh. Okay. What has happened is, with the bent links, with the links flipped, now what happens is we have much more available suspension travel than we did before, because it used to be that this would hit the motor mount a lot sooner. But now it doesn't. Like, see, if we're compressing this way, it's not a problem. We're not even close. If we're compressing this way, it's not a problem. We're not even close. But if it compresses straight down, we hit the thing. So I wonder, if I turn this one over, okay, get right there. Okay, so now we're running the broken elbow. It couldn't be better without the broken elbow. So one is fully upside down to clear the spur, and the other one is tweaked a little so that it will hit the gear, it will hit the motor mount and stop it from going into the gear. I'm going to take it. I'm taking it. I'm taking it. We're not even going to clean up the wires on this. Don't care. I want to hear it make a noise, and it's going to make a noise. I have too many airbrushes. Posh, Badger, Iwata, the list goes on. Yeah. My airbrushing days are largely behind me. I used to airbrush bodies and stuff. I used to and models and do all the airbrushing stuff. And now I'm a 1 hour paint job man. So I've never airbrushed a crawler body. I feel like they're different time frames in my life. Well, that's not explicitly true. I tried to airbrush one, Tranquish, and that stupid Mission Models paint was not cooperative. And I ended up loading all of the paint into a HVLP gun, and I just absolutely blasted it. On forward bias weight LCG, do you want lighter shock oil in back versus front or vice versa? I run the same oil all the way around. It has only been a couple times that I've noticed over damping become a serious problem. You would typically want heavier oil at the heavier end to control it so that it doesn't wobble around. But you will notice if you get up into that position where you're climbing up and a wheel goes up in the air and it basically doesn't drop down, then you may indeed be over damped and or undersprung at the same time. We can get away with running far heavier oil than we should be able to, and we can get away with running far softer springs than we should because we're going very slow. I need to post the last RC hype picture to show her how it was mine. California kind of forcing me to be an airbrush guy. Yeah. I own an Evolution airbrush, but I need a compressor. Ain't got a clue what one to get. There's no... it depends. Do you want the airbrush compressor type that is constant on? Do you want something like foot pedal activated? Do you want something with a small tank on it? For years and years, I just ran my airbrush off of my big one with the tank with water blowing through the lines, which is not the way to do it. Which is why if I airbrush now, I'm using that little Maker X thing that runs off of a battery. And the airbrushes, you know what? The airbrushes are absolutely fine. It's not a Posh. It's not an Iwata. I don't want to get that far into it. I use 10 weight heavier in front versus back on my mullet, and it seems to work well. Yeah. Here's the thing. I can't give you a number. I can't give you a weight and say this is the weight that you should run, because all these vehicles are giant accumulations of variables. Like you run what works. So if 10 weight difference in split is working, then that is what works. It's not like this thing where if you on a lark, if you drained one of the pairs of shocks and filled it with something else, it's not going to transform the capabilities of the vehicle. We need damping. We are better off being over damped than under damped to a degree. Softly, gently, marginally over damped is far better than softly, gently under damped, because if you're under damped, it's going to cause the body to roll a lot faster. It's going to cause you to snap out and throw that weight balance over quicker than you can try to catch it. So I just try to drill all my pistons out so I can run 40 weight on everything. Because I like them to 40 weight. Because it's purple. But honestly, the number of shocks here that are filled out of the bottle that simply says 300 CST on the side and is not that, but it is filled with taking all of these and just pouring them into one bottle. We got Element Stock. I want to say this is Losi, and then this is a Traxxas that they never even mention what the weight is. I pour them all into one bottle that says 300 CST on the side, and this is what I tend to fill shocks with. What weight is that oil? I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. Works. damps it. If it doesn't feel like it's enough, I'll drain it out and I'll put some 40 in it. We ain't building rockets. It's a good thing, too. I would have killed myself and all of us at this point if I was building rockets, because I need too many. I need far too many tries to get it right. I need an infinite number of attempts. Along with Ferris Bueller playing the clarinet, I don't feel like I've learned anything because the knowledge has come so gradually and so fractured and fractioned. That was crazy. Running 700 CST on TRX4 in the base camp. That's a lot. That's a lot. Wait, is it? Yeah, no, that's not that bad. 1,000 CST is 80 weight. So he's 3/4 of the way to 80 weight. So he's running like 55, 60 weight, something like that. That's not that heavy. That's heavier than I would run.
Whatever works.
Everything I've had come with 35 from trucks to drift cars. Most companies doing crawler, if they market, they say 300 CST. Neil Daniels, an AS186 type compressor will do you fine. There you go. I mean, I don't know how good of a suggestion of an airbrush compressor I can give to the UK from the US, because I get the feeling we're using different things. We are going to need a Fusion Pro box, because I seriously doubt this will be rotating in the correct direction. It's 50-50. Oh! We're still a minute away from that, aren't we? We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. 450, 500 are most of my GTS trail rigs. Yeah. 40 weight, 35 to 40 weight. What are they printing their manuals out of down at Radiolink that it makes it feel like they're from the late 1970s? Like the camera does not. Does this one show up more? Not really. It's the daylight lighting in here. This thing is super yellow. It's not white. I don't know what they're doing. The lighting in here is, it's all 6500K. Oh. If you don't like styrofoam sounds, too late. Find out how much charge these have in them. I still have another Ovonic that I haven't busted out of the package. I should charge that up. 8 volts. 8 volts will do you. 6FG. Let's give a little twisty here. We build excitement. Not really. We built something though. I'm gonna make it move. Recycled something. Yeah, I'll go with recycled something. I don't know. Do the Chinese recycle paper? It's tough to say.
Pretty sure we forced them to.
One. Another 6-channel receiver for another 2-channel rig. That's how we flow around here. Ooh, it does have the drag brake. I can turn my drag brake off if that's important to me, which it isn't. Put that on a switch. Which way's on and which way's off? I don't know. Oh, receiver should be prepared, so we should be good on that. First time up. It's the quietest one yet. No to, oh wow. That like, it used to come in a little annoying plastic bag. Now they're like, nah, brah. Just shoving it in the foam.
Bags cost too much.
Bags cost too much. They're all in a river in India. So They can't. They don't have access to as many bags as they used to. Holy man. Okay. It is so much quieter than I thought it was going to be, honestly. Now, what you have to remember is this is something in the spirit of the dumb idiocy that I had thought about, like, how much can we gear something down and still have it be functional? 81 to 1 in the front, 113 to 1 in the rear, 3000 kV on 3S. I think the steering is reversed. I think steering is reversed and throttle is going to be reversed. How close are we to centered? We're not. Isn't that servo programmable? Yep. Are you going to program it? Nope. Just going to use a turnbuckle. I'm going to use a turnbuckle with the drag link and I'm going to fix it. That's a TRX4 Silverhorn. Yes, that is definitely reversed on the steering. That's a little fast. Reverse the throttle as well. I know you can't hear that at all. What? Does the Mini 16 not want your... Does the Mini 16 not want your throttle channel reversed? Turn the radio, yada, yada, yada. Hold the set button, release the set button. Huh. It doesn't specifically say reverse it.
Why do you need to reverse it?
Hobby Wings have always had a reverse throttle channel. That thing's got to be on RPM matching because it is not coming to a stop. And now... Oh, yeah, there's some ridiculous way to put this thing... There's some ridiculous way to plug in the program card. Yes. Okay, that's what the yellow wire is for. So, to program this thing... You gotta put this guy. I can never remember how to do this. Okay, so the yellow signal wire goes into signal, and then the plus minus goes into there. So maybe if you're thinking about running a Mini 16, don't bury it inside of something. You're not going to be able to get to it. And then you program it as normal. So, Lipo cells 3, 3, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6. Doesn't matter. It can be on 6 volt. Drag brake 7.6 rate. Drag brake force, drag brake rate 1. So by default, the drag brake rate is 1. I really don't remember messing with one of these. We go to the middle. We go 8.5. Max reverse force 100% is psychopathic. 75% max. RPM to release rate 6. Punch at 1. Punch at 1. Punch at 1. And neutral range at 12%. The stock configuration on this is nuts. Wait.
Wasn't it installed in a vehicle before?
Wait, no, I was on punch. So the stock punch is level 7. That's a lot. 13 is neutral range, which is at 8%. That's normal. Okay. Whoa. Okay, and then item. Okay. Starting to get worried there. I felt like we'd looped around. Punch at 5. Punch is 12. I'll try 5. Those endpoints are wild. Go down to about 50%. Ah, originally for Spectrum. That's right. You're absolutely right. You know what I don't do on a given daily basis? Think about Spectrum. And you should too. I didn't even adjust the length of this. That's pretty close. We need shorter. Shorter? Shorter. I think this tie rod's got a tiny bit of toe in it. Not a criminal amount. Ooh. It steers so fast that it's like we're getting in between the frame rate. It's not even really camming. So on this axle with these knuckles, endpoint setting is critical. There are no stops on these axles. There are no stops on these knuckles. You can absolutely turn this front end to the point where you will rip the front end apart. So that would worry me. It still worries me a little. It would worry me a lot if we weren't dealing with a servo making way too much torque for what we're about to do. 700 ounces and change here at this speed. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a whole real lot, a genuine whole lot. Looking at the rack. Tusks on 30%.
Like you said, MTZs.
I think MTZs are gonna be the boss boy jam. All right, but I have a hidden secret for all of you, which is I built this thing. We began on this as this was a joke, right? I basically grabbed a bunch of random bits and I started slapping the random bits together because Vanquish made the laziest mullet possible. Oh, Billy's, I think I stopped even before that. Like, we're going to get way more steering angle than is prudent, and I don't even think I'm near where it would max out. We can turn...
Have the tires on to see if they hit links.
Yeah, we got to see if we're putting the tires into anything at this point. I still feel like it needs it needs a smidge. I said I needed an 80 mil, I think is what I was looking for. No, it's pretty good. We'll adjust it if it doesn't track straight. Oh, for the coffee! Not the sawtooth, but the coffee. Okay, after changes, I feel comfortable stopping reassembly so that I can machine something off the rear bumper so that it'll allow room for the fancy fuel cell radio box. Ooh. Fancy. I'm here for fancy. Oh, okay. So me, I took a bunch of parts and I threw it together. And I'm not sure that's the hole I originally had the shocks in. But it's where we're going to go for now. That's where we're going to go for now. And then, as it started to go together, I was like, I don't know. It's kind of all right. And then we were trying to figure out what body to put on it. And I auditioned a couple. And then more contributions from the Horizon Hobby getting into a fist fight with Team Associated / Thunder Tiger. That's where all the rod ends came from. That's where half the links came from. All the hardware on the shocks, that's where that came from. And then I remembered the $27 Ecto. And I'd like to show you something. This is ostensibly a 10 Pro, at least in terms of footprint. I did not put the shocks in the correct position. I didn't look at it. The Ecto body fits perfectly. Like perfectly. To where when I set it down on top of it, I had all ideas of what I was just going to fit to this. I think it was I all the way down there? I think I was all the way down there. We'll see. We will tune accordingly. Something is crawling on my workbench. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye. These need to go one hole back. I had a perfect reveal moment where I just popped it together and I screwed myself out of it. My question on the lights. I'm using an electronic switch so I control lights on and off from the remote, and power comes straight from the 3S battery. So can I use the cheap 12-volt LED lights? I mean, you should. A 3S battery is about 12 volts, and you would hope that they have enough overhead over the top of them. I hate to say that there's one way to find out, because I may be the wrong person to ask, because I've burned out a lot of LED bulbs. I burned out all of Bruce's LED bulbs one at a time. And then replaced all of them one at a time. I can't believe I couldn't remember. I pre-drilled the body, man. I can't believe I didn't remember where I put the body mounts. But I fixed it, I think. I was like, it slips down so perfectly onto the chassis if you put the body mounts in the correct spot. Like that. So, like, right? I mean, like, look where the shock tower is on the chassis versus the body, and that's down, that's mounted. It all kind of started just kind of falling together. It was weirding me out a little, because that's not how things work. I still think Bruce and Sheila needs the soft yellow lights. Meh, feh, and bleh. Those soft yellow lights, it needs to be extraordinarily dark for you to be able to see them. I just took the soft yellow ones out of Sheila and put all of the regular, like, modern LED color. Whatever Kelvin rating those are. In terms of chassis only, how does this compare to the Mias? Oh, it's radically different. The 10 Pro chassis, the Mias is definitely more versatile. It would be a lot easier. I was building to this, and because I had it, there is nothing purchased for this vehicle. Nothing. That is a servo that I took out of Gumby.
Well, the only thing you would have to purchase would be a motor plate if you didn't have.
Yeah, the only thing I would have to purchase is a motor plate. Did you use the 5mm whites I sent you? Yes. The yellow lights might not be bright, but they look better on the FJ40.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree. I do not agree, because I view both Bruce and Sheila as what I would call resto mods. Like, I'm not attempting to achieve perfect 1970s accuracy. If somebody is driving an FJ40 around today, they are probably going to have updated headlights in it because they want to be able to see at night. So I'm absolutely fine with that. Sputter Crawler is asking if I'm going to do a video about these, about the Watermelones. I can. There is the important part. It is actually slightly firmer than what is in an old Tim Tin, but it is the same width and it is the same height. It is 87 by 43. And then this foam is, I would call it borderline unusable. It's very firm. It's very firm on the outside. But do I have one? This might actually be a Crawler Innovations, but like that would be usable. That'd be absolutely usable. But if we're working with these inners, why aren't we just putting fridge foam on it? Which is exactly what I'm going to do. Because, I mean, it's appreciably close. Like, cutting them the same way, apparently. Same width, same height. And they're available on Amazon for double the cost. It's something I would definitely recommending for AliExpress, waiting for AliExpress. It's not something you need urgently. You know, you buy 2 sets of them, you're spending like $18. Free shipping. Turn that foam into hats. How would you do that? What axles are used in the front? Yeah, this is the 10-2 builder's kit front axle with the non-adjustable C-hubs and everything, aka the worst 10-2 axle. I had definitely thought about putting an element axle in the front of it, and it would not be difficult to swap an element axle onto the front of this. So it might end up element in the front and TRX in the rear because the ratios won't change. Nope, I have an 833 in it. It's going to stay that one. I forgot about the 833. It's going to stay that one. If you're only going to buy one set of knuckle weights for AR44, just go on Deluxe and buy those. The fallback are the ones from KYX, but they go out of stock on Amazon all the time. You can pretty much get the Deluxe whenever you want. The Deluxe, if you're unfamiliar, look like this. And they are all the weight that you will need to add to a vehicle. You will not need to add any more weight than this. I think the pair, I want to say the pair is around 300 grams. And they're usually like, they're 40 some dollars. They might be between $40 and $50. Jeez, this Vaunt needs new batteries. 3/4 pound. 335 grams for the pair. They aren't really that, these in terms of Deluxe are not that expensive. And I also tell people that if you're only going to buy one Capra knuckle weight, it's the Deluxe ones as well. These are usually around 40 bucks, and the pair is 300 grams. So slightly lighter than these. They do not work with a lot of portal boxes, aftermarket portal boxes, though, because a lot of the aftermarket portal boxes are built wrong. And at 300 grams for the pair, you seldom need to add more weight than that to the front axle. If you need to add more weight than that, then like take a closer look at what you've done with the setup, I guess. Will the Air 44 knuckle weights fit Capra straight axles? I don't know. I haven't tried it. I don't know if I don't know what C-Hub protocol they went with on those Mias axles. Because those Mias axles come with weights on them, I haven't bothered to try to change the weights. The weight of the Mias weights is such that about all I would add is like maybe brass rings and wheels, you know, to take the wheel weight just up a little bit. But what I was going to say is this. I think Baja MTZ are probably going to be the guys for this, because you remember just a few short moments ago when I said this started off kind of as a half joke, where I was like, an idiot in a shed is going to throw a bunch of crap together and he's going to build a mullet out of it, which is what I've done. What sits before you right here, which is RTR minus wheels and tires, weighs 1,555 grams in RTR configuration. There's nothing to add to here, short of maybe a battery strap or a little bit of tape to tape the electronics down. For the Americans, that is 3.43 pounds. So that's all we're at right here. So with a typical set of wheels, what do I have that's on a rim that's not extraordinarily heavy? Okay. There's some iron rocks. Iron rocks on 105s takes this vehicle to 4.75 pounds. So well under 5 pounds. You could get to up over 5 pounds depending on wheel choice. Like if I put some trials on here, we'd probably be about 5 pounds, maybe a little bit over 5 pounds. It's been an, I don't know, kind of Friday afternoon. Yeah, it has been an, I don't know. Comp pins on here would certainly end the day under 5 pounds. Did I buy green wheels? No. The blind guy and I were talking about, the cheap Chinese Capra straight axles. I've never seen those, so I can't tell you. Let's just see, I just got my Deluxe shocks delivered. My other ones are smaller and got the big C-clip. Does it go in the bottom of the body to hold the seals in place? Yes. Yes. There he is. Lightweight always. Lightweight always indeed. I had no... It's Mini 16. It's a plastic motor plate in a Mini 16. That's why this thing is so light. I made no effort to add or remove weight. This axle came off of a vehicle in that exact configuration. And the sum total of changes that I did to that front axle is I moved the linkage from this side to this side because the weight worked out better for me. I had also thought, like, initially I was like, I don't want to put the sliders on it because I don't like sliders. But then I lined them up with the body. And when I trimmed them down, I was like, well, I mean, you kind of got to leave them on there. And I don't think that it even well, maybe. We might end up kind of following this line a little more, flattening that off if this looks like it's dragging too much. But I don't have any green wheels, and let me finish that thought. I want to say that this is a fake SSD cover. That's just an Amazon cheap brass cover. On the Mias Gold Rush chassis, how do you put your front upper link to avoid the FMM? You don't. Basically, what's going to happen is... So at full squishy, here's my front upper, which is a high clearance turned on its side because he's CMS. At full straight squishy, it hits. It's already hitting bonk, bonk, bonk. But it can fully articulate. As long as you can fully articulate, it hitting doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because this, you are seldom fully compressing straight up and down. This is the part that matters, is articulation. As long as you can articulate, you're good to go. And it's going to be the same way with a, well, actually, yeah, if you're 4-link, it's really not going to matter because the spur gear is up much higher. So you shouldn't be interfering with the spur gear, unless, you know, you're trying to run a 96 tube. Green body, gold wheels, someone said. What is the closest? You hit the bins. See what we've got in the way of wheels. I got silver. I got gunmetal. I got rainbow. On clearance on Amazon, I've got blue. I've got purple. Chuck Hurley voting for hot pink again. Loves a hot pink body. I've got black, blue, silver, purple. Unfortunately, it wasn't green, but these were on Amazon for $20. Flesh crayon body. Ugh. Flesh ecto. Gross. Yeah, I don't know if I have a wheel that, like, screams this guy to me. Wait, hold on. Wait. I take that back. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. Now I'm thinking green body as well. But like hunter green.
A little bit.
Okay. So these are already mounted to a tire. I'm not saying that this is what we're going to go with, but I'm saying this is what we're going to mount up right now. This might not be the right tire, but this is the right tire for right now. This thing's wheelbase looks crazy long. I was also looking at it earlier and taking note of the fact that approach and departure should be absolutely outstanding, as there's nothing that sticks out past the tires. Have the pieces I removed from the prisoner arrived? Our mail comes at, like, if you mailed them, our mail comes at like 7 p.m. We have an app over here, the neighborhood app, and people are always talking about their mail getting stolen. And I'm always like, how do you get your mail stolen? And then I hear the mail truck. I hear my mailbox door open and close at 7:45 at night. And I'm like, oh, that's how people get their mail stolen. Because by 7:45, you figure, oh, well, the mail's just not coming today. So, if it's too blingin', you tell me. How wide is that? 250. 250. Let's make sure that we're out of the We're out of the gears. Yeah, we can do it that way. Thursday on Reef Live, they're supposed to be announcing pre-sale for 200 trucks. From my understanding, it's actually pretty nice. I had a chance to drive it on my comp crawler course. Twin wash. Any idea what they're going to charge for it? Because my guess is a lot. I feel like it's going to be a lot. It's going to have a proper reefs tax on it. And that's, you know, they can manage it. They've got a following. Ooh, this is, okay. Very low throttle amounts. Let's do some very low throttle amounts. All right, you'll get new batteries. Jesus. I push the button 4 times to get it turned on. This combo, 4.949 pounds. 1,300. That's exactly what I guessed it was going to be. 1,300. Oh, so these are gold face and full bling chrome barrel. Pretty bright. I feel like the Reefs following are more crazy than the Red Cat Army. Yeah, they have to be. $1,300, man. Like, the Red Cat Army is not out there to spend $1,300. And when I say Red Cat Army, I am, do not forget, I'm only talking about the Red Cat crawler guys. I'm not talking about the hopper guys, the drift guys, the kaiju guys. They're all different guys. I'm talking about the people who relentlessly defend Red Cat rock crawlers, which is an oxymoron. Crawler City. Did Crawler City just say morning, gents? Is Crawler City on the other side of the international date line? Are you in Southeast Asia? Is that wheel down? No. It just starts to lift in the rear. Mr. Daniels, I believe that the center part of this that part is brass. They do appear to be brass. With brass rings on them, we'd really be throwing the weight down in the front. But this is one of those things that we definitely don't make any parts changes. For $1,300, it better be 4-wheel steer with two 1,100 servos, and probably just comes with $299. Aaron Schmidt, with $1,300, I bet that it will have like a servo, maybe. But I don't think if $1,300 is an RTR, what are they running it off of? Anyways, we can't hack too deeply at reefs for a $1,300 comp, whatever they happen to call it. Because if you want to build a ghoulie moo and you want to get your ghoulie moo reasonable, you're spending over $1,000. And you're going to have a big Goliath of a thing. So it's like slider with a body. Oof! Ah, okay, hold on. I need to do it. I need to do the split screen. Show me. There we are. So, 1300 slider with a body. Yeah, that is authoritatively oof size large. That is, as the youth would say, diabolical. How does the throttle feel? That's a good question. Well, because I'll be in California Wednesday evening. Dinner is on me. Your choice. Careful. We know some fancy ass places. I'll just make you go to Hate Burger, because if you like a hamburger and you're in Southern California and you're probably not going to be here again anytime soon, Hate Burger is a place that you should go to. We need to do a little PMix 01 here. So how many times have I done this? We go to PMix 01, we go mode on, we go switch, lock A, we go position up, then we turn it off. We go left to 0. We go master channel 3. We go slave throttle. And because this one is, so this should be reversed. Right. So it should be up to 100. So turn it on. Nope. No, it's still down. Wait, will it be up? Nope. Yeah, it's still the same way. It's still the same way. So then we're going to down 100. I didn't know if not having the throttle reverse was going to change it at all. And then we'll see what we can do real low on the slow low. Good grief. Good grief. Okay, so we have so much gear reduction that we have fallen into imperceptible motion. I mean, it's still a Fusion, right? Look at that. Look at that top shaft. That is a twirly boy. Cammon. Wop, 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 wop. Some real catch and release action. You know what? I'm pretty okay with it. Oh no, Mr. Hurley, you're not hearing the spur gear at all. What you are hearing is mostly this top universal shaft, because it is moving at an incredible rate of speed. Because, please do not forget, 3000 kV, 12.6 volts. What is genuinely surprising, look at that. That's barely running out. Oh, hey! It is the man from Montana and Arizona and all places in between, Shaker MT. He says, boo, folks, because we haven't seen this gentleman in a minute. Too bad no isokinetics. Yeah. if it didn't physically kill me to split up a set of Mias nylon straights, I would put one on there. Thank you so much, Mr. Shaker MT, for your lifelong support and current support of the Canyon. We're doing the same nonsense. It's just constant. It's unavoidable. We are constantly involved in nonsense. I can give you a peep at what I was working on before I started working on this. Look how good that looks. I am genuinely taken aback. What we're going to do is I'll record the ghost ride of this about 20 hours from now. You won't see it until like middle or end of next week, because stuff is locked in. Episodes are already up for today. There's an episode at 4, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So probably Thursday for this guy, and we will see. Is the color I have green enough? Is it vibrantly green enough? Now, we've got opportunities here, folks.
Clear green.
I have that.
No, you haven't. That's why I said it.
We should put some pink on it just for Chuck Early. Just a little bit, just a touch of pink.
Do it reverse. Dark windows and clear body. Windows.
Okay, we're going ham. Oh, Chuck's leaving? Oh. All right. We've got rich green. We've got Spastic's candy apple. We've got Tamiya translucent green. We've got about a third of a can of Park green. And we've got a full brand new still sealed can of British Racing green. If we can, and we've got gold too, because it's green and gold, right? With all of those greens, so I think to pickle it properly, probably like a free-handed stripe of this down the middle, right? And then over that with like the candy, and then over that center with like this medium green, and then the bottom edges with that green. So we'll end up using like 5 colors of green. Is this still on? Yes. Any updates on the HD6? Once, about every 4 weeks, I try to remount a wheel. I can ask you now because you're here right now. Are you opposed to me gluing the bead locks to the wheels? Because I think it's, other than, you have 2 choices. You either need to change all 7 wheels because there's the spare, or we need to glue the bead locks to the wheels, because I have tried to mount them and it's impossible. Like they will not mount. I've tried different inserts. I've tried the cross tires. I've tried Proline tires. I've tried silicone inserts. I've tried everything, and they won't do it. They won't do it. Candy apple green back with gold. Put a layer of clear on first, then candy the gold. I mean, I could do that. Translucent green back with lame flake, and then metallic green, silver silk coat after. I don't have all those colors. You got to work with what we have right here. I do have silver, but I don't have any of the lame flake, and that stuff's expensive. I do have translucent green and candy apple green, which is transparent. Is the Willys with the rift axle still kicking around? Yep. Paint inside of body. Well, yeah. Yeah. Aaron Schmidt says, me and the blind guy talk about 50 Shades of Grey on the bench. All those cans just look exactly the same to him. I agree. CK Graphics, I agree. I mean, I would like to see more colors, but I am pleasantly surprised with how many colors they do have. And I'm also not surprised that they don't have metallics, because it's basically paint to make your patio umbrella not look as dingy. Need spots to reflect the bumps on a pickle? I don't know how I would did that.
Dear Lord, this is the pickle one?
Yeah. I didn't see if he said glue 'em. Did I miss? They're 1.9s. I can find some different wheels that should work with the tires. Yes, they're 1.9s. I don't know how I would do pickle bumps. I don't know. Well, I don't know how I would do pickle bumps within the mandated 1 hour time limit. Oh, yeah. Hugo, who basically hasn't been here because it's his birthday. Ugh. And he's out with, wait, what's the one that the raccoon always uses? Is it Consuela? He's always out with Consuela, so he's never here. He's never working for nothing when he's supposed to be working.
Is that the kid?
I want to send signals to UFOs with my umbrella. Well, after you paint it with the Max Flex, you can presumably use whatever you want over the top of that. I know that both Montana Gold and Iron Lake both make chrome. You could just paint it over the top with chrome. Hey, that's his name. Consuela's your name? That's not what I had heard. So, the boss is here, everyone. So,
But I'm here early. You have 10 minutes.
so you can tell her how much, you can mention to her directly how much better than me that she did on Wednesday. Because I'm fine. I'm fine. Because I'm fine.
I don't think he's fine.
She doesn't think I'm fine, but I'm fine.
He's jelly.
I mean, a little.
Does that say hizzy?
Yeah. And then that's Ugo, but we pronounce H's in this country.
But it looks like a V.
Oh yeah, HV. That's his middle name. Best part of Wheel and Wednesday is when you guys were talking about RC carpets. She just drove away.
I did.
Yeah.
I was there to drive, not to...
She did indeed just drive away. Okay, Chuck. There is no such thing as a pink brighter than Sheila.
Sheila's pink.
Oh, Bill True, it's off to football. Incontinentia. Yeah, that's a good one. I'd forgotten about that one. We're always trying to think up names for Hugo's Spanish girlfriend that he met while working at L'Oreal. And we always fall back to Consuela, and he makes fun of us for that because he says, that's an old lady's name.
What about Maria?
I'm sure there's got to be lots of ladies in Spain named
How about Esmeralda?
Esmeralda and Maria. But we hit him with the Consuela and the Conchita. And, Conchita, and he doesn't approve. We never get the approval. Bro, what's that name? What, Maria? Come on. How do you solve a problem like Maria? There's a reference you won't understand. Oh, the Billies, let me tell you something. I paid $24 for parking. And then you don't even drive past a booth. You just drive out of the parking lot. I'm so mad.
You're so mad.
Because why am I the one who's law-abiding and pays $24 for parking when you know all of those other people weren't paying?
Well, first he was mad by the amount, and then he was more mad that there was nobody there to check that he paid the amount.
Right? I paid. I should get something for it. I parked for 4 hours and paid $24 for it.
Were we really even there 4 hours?
No. We were there over 3 hours, which to a parking machine is 4 hours.
Did you rant about how long we had to wait for food? And
Oh my God. Let me end on this.
Oh.
Then I'm sitting in the car. Oh, wait, no. I got more than once. Hey, pink pencil for Chuck Hurley. We're sitting in the parking lot, and I'm trying to decide where we're going to go to eat. So I look at the things, and I just look at the stupid Yelp scores or whatever, and I'm like, this one's got like a 4.5, and everything else around is consistently 4.3, and the prices on the menu don't look insane. So I go, Woody's Wharf, right there on the harbor in Newport. It was like a 10-minute drive.
Yeah.
So we get there at like 10:50 in the morning. It's a Sunday because we record on Sunday mornings. We get there. They say the wait is going to be 45 minutes to an hour. Is that okay? Not really. Not really.
We'd already paid for valet.
But we paid $8 for the valet parking.
So he's mad for paying for parking.
I'm already mad. I paid $8. So I'm deep into a sunk cost fallacy. I've spent $8. I'm not leaving, right? We wait 90 minutes to get a table. 90, okay? At this point, I don't know how old or how white you are, but if you're old and white, 90 minutes is past the threshold. Basically, unless it's the actual, legitimate, stolen food of the gods, it's not going to be good enough to cancel out sitting on a wooden bench for the better part of 90 minutes.
But the show was, we got to see a show.
But the show was, where's my paper?
I don't know.
The show was,
I don't know what he's going to do with paper. How can he tell you guys about the story with paper?
okay. Here is the restaurant. Okay? Here's the restaurant.
Okay.
Our table is right here. Right here is a little walkway, and then right here are boat slips. And in here is a boat, and in here is a boat. And over here was another boat, and then there's a boat like this. And these boats are filled with people that made my wife ask the question, is this what rich people look like now? Because I looked up this boat right here, and that boat used sells for $2.5 million. It has 5 outboard motors on the back, right? Each one making like X number, whatever, 800 horsepower, whatever, right? This is a $2.5 million boat, and it has people that you would expect to see with the receiver cover that says remove for river. You know those people. Do you know what? When I talk about river people, do you know what river people are?
I don't know if they do.
These look like river people, but they're on a $2.5 million boat. And because these slips are here, you can get food service to your $2 million boat from the restaurant that we're eating at.
They didn't look like rich people. To me, they I didn't know what to expect because there was another big shiny boat that was like a $20 million boat.
Like a full-on yacht.
And
a full-on Miami Vice yacht went by.
Polo shirts and stuff, what I would expect.
Right. But these people are wearing T-shirts and baseball hats.
And flip-flops.
And there was a gentleman that got off of this boat that looked to me like what newish money looks like, right? Dude looked like a contractor that had enough money to buy some stuff, right? He was with a lady that was the exact color of an American baseball mitt. And by that, I mean she started off this color and then spent so much time in the sun, she was the color of an American baseball mitt. So we waited 90 minutes to sit down. We get to order our food. Service is hectic because the place is pretty busy. There's a giant party at one of the tables that had to be 30 people. Some of the boats, which are, mind you, this is not to scale. These people are 20 feet from where we're sitting. The guy at the steering wheel is 20 feet from where we are.
They're booming their music in fog.
Boom, 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 boom. Some of the engines are still running on the boats, so you get that joy. You get a little scent coming at you. It was pretty great. And then the $2.5 million boat had an incredible sound system on it. And by incredible, I mean incredibly loud. And at one point, he played a dubstep version of Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond. And every time the bass would go, boom, 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 fog would shoot out of sprayers on the roof of his expensive boat. And the wife and I were both like, what is happening? Where are we right now? Have we driven through a portal into a parallel reality? Because we killed about the first 30 minutes of our promised 45-minute to 1 hour wait, which turned out to be an hour and a half, by walking over to the pier where there was a farmer's market. And we walked through the farmer's market, and I bought the wife some overnight oats, or as my youngest calls it, cold morning slop. So that was nice. But as we were walking back from the pier, we could have walked in and sat down at any number of restaurants that we walked past. This entire debacle was my fault, as is usual, because I thought, let's just pick this place, and then the $8. The $8. But you know what? I am not an idiot. Not complete. I am an idiot in a shed, but I'm not a complete idiot. And I can learn. The next time I spend $8 on mandatory valet parking and they say the wait's going to be 45 minutes, I'm just turning around, getting in my car, and driving to another restaurant. Because lesson learned, it was not worth the $8. But much like how we never remember the okay experiences, we remember the very good and the very bad. We will remember the $2.5 million boat blaring the dubstep version of Sweet Caroline. So, and we will not be going back to Woody's Wharf.
Then you've never seen them do spray party. What the heck is a spray?
They don't drink champagne, they just spray it in the air.
Okay, all right, because I thought that was going a whole different place.
Dubstep Neil Diamond is probably the proper Old Testament translation. They just couldn't figure it out. Womp, womp, womp. And then it went whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It was this.
And everybody in the restaurant was all, woo!
It was an experience. It definitely was an experience. And it didn't ruin the day. We still had a lovely day, you know. And the wife had not very good chilaquiles.
Those were not chilaquiles. I'm sorry.
And I had a fish sandwich, because if I go someplace and there's a fish sandwich on the menu,
Southern California.
I'm eating it.
They're supposed to know Mexican food in Southern California. And no, I'm sorry. That was not even close to chilaquiles.
It was made out of chips.
Well, isn't chilaquiles just like wet nachos?
No, they're different.
They're basically supposed to be fried.
They're fried, but it's different, yeah.
So yeah, we did get a good story out of it. $24. I should have known. The $24 for beach parking should have warned me. That when we got the $8 for mandatory valet, I should have just walked away. But
we've paid for valet before. I know that's usually how it is in beach places.
But you live and you learn. I just did not expect.
But we've had rezos everywhere that we've paid for parking before.
That's
we've
true.
had reservations.
Because we've eaten at stuff right up the harbor that is excellent. And because we had a reservation, we went right in and sat down. But after eating at Woody's Wharf and hearing the dubstep version of Sweet Caroline, that doesn't feel like a reservation kind of establishment. It felt like a your shirts don't need to necessarily have sleeves kind of establishment, which is honestly more my speed anyway. But we did it. We done it. We're done. We didn't spin our way in. People are leaving because it's the middle of the night. We're going to spin our way out. It ain't a thing with a Susan. Look at that. Look at that. We're powering down. Did we? Oh. This updated, so now my stream deck doesn't work. It just makes exclamation points. So I have to completely reprogram that. And I had really forgotten how to use it. Oh, the bar was absolutely packed because there was a dang old football game on. You know, a dang old football game. Let's go down to Woody Wharf, watch us football game. Have a great weekend, everybody. I need to put a coffee drink inside me soon. Okay. For Hugo's birthday, 2 spins out. That's what we're going to do. Turn off the flash. We're doing the thing. Camera 2 is down. Camera 3 is down. I'm down. We're down. 334. We did the thing. We made a thing. It works. I'll run it soon. You'll see a video soon-ish. Hit the like. Somebody ban Jerry the Raccoon. He doesn't know what to do with his weekend if he doesn't get banned at the end of the live stream. Have a good one, guys. And as the Spaniard has said, I will see you all in the next one.